Gosh, you should have seen it a few hours ago. And if you were with us earlier, it had gotten quite dark for the final 10 minutes or so. And we just managed to get the last race through. And then an absolute downpour for hours and hours. Quite a lot of local flooding, I can tell you straight away, on the roads leading out of the stadium. When it rains here, it rains. This is what we have coming up. We've got 15 finals for you tonight. Lots of field action. Women's club throw F32, men's javelin 44, women's shot put F34, that's seated. And then we'll go into the track finals in around 20 minutes time with the men's 200 meters T37, so the likes of Christian Louise, Ricardo Gomez in that, Andrew Rivadovan, that's a big fight. Women's 200 T13, pieced together all those from the 100 final the other day, including the gold medalist for Ireland, Orla Comerford, up against the outgoing champion, the current champion, Rayan Suarez. Women's 100 T11, opening rounds of that. Men's 100 T72, that's the frame running, and Carlo Calcagni. And we'll wrap up with the women's long jump T63. That'll be a great final, lots of big names in that. Men's javelin F64, 2 javelin finals tonight, lots of interest for India, so hopefully crowds again. Men's 100 T64, those are the Blade Runners and some very familiar names, the likes of Floors and Strang. No Hunter Woodall though. And the men's 400 T11 is on as well. Now we are also scheduled, you didn't see it mentioned there, the men's 1500 meters final, but more about that later.
Yeah, to get us underway, the women's club throw F32. Here is the start list. There are 10 in total and 10 are starting. Ibrahimi, the 3-time Paralympic champion in the club throw and the 4-time world champion as well, will go in this. As will the Paralympic and world shot put champion. So there's a massive contest to take place in it, as there is be in the men's javelin throw F44.
We've got 3 from India in this: Pushpendra Singh, Sandeep Sanjay Sagar, and Sandeep. Just Sandeep, there is a reason for that. So it's a mix of 42, 43 and 44s. They're all considered to be of the same standard. And the world record set in Paris 2 years ago, the World Championships for the 43s by Pushpendra Singh, who will be the first to go. So there's a lot of big action coming around. Women's shot put F34. And we've got 8 in this. So Zhu Lijuan is the perennial champion. Hers is the world record from the Worlds in Paris 2 years ago of 9:25. Lucinia Konobis as well, the regular European champion. Interest from India here too, by Garashi Yadav. So we're hoping for big crowds today. Hello from Will Downey, that's me. Tulsa Tollett, that's him. And Steph Reed, that's her.
Good evening.
Now, what are you looking forward to today? I have a feeling, but...
Well, I know what you think I'm going to say, but I'm actually going to go out on a limb and say I really, really hope we have a recreation of what happened last night. The men's F64 javelin throw is taking place. Summit Antil is going to be involved, and if you weren't with us last night, it was absolutely magical. We had the
Last into the chair, 9th in the world last year from the United Arab Emirates, Nora Al-Khattabi. Next, she was 7th in the world last year from Algeria, Mounia Yazmi.
Yazmi, who was a silver medalist in 2012 and 2016.
The world and Paralympic bronze medalist from Brazil, Giovanna Boscolo Castillo Goncalves.
Castillo Boscolo, who was a bronze medalist last year in the Paralympic Games.
The Paralympic champion
Brazil.
Representing Tunisia,
Ibrahimi, who was the gold
Ibrahima.
medalist last year in Paris, also in London 2012 and in Rio 2016.
With a lifetime best of 28.77 from Poland,
last
Rosa
year in Paris
Kozakowska.
in the Paralympic Games. She was a world champion for 2023 and Paralympic champion 2020.
Next up, the world champion from Brazil, Juana Helena Brito Oliveira.
Brito from Brazil, gold medalist and reigning world champion. Also won the shot
With a
put in
lifetime best
Kobe
of
as well.
26-29 for the Islamic
Habibi,
Republic of
23
Iran.
years of age,
Parastu Habibi.
silver medalist at the Paralympic Games last year for the young Iranian.
Fourth at the World
Anastasia
Championships last year
Moskalenko,
from
she was
Ukraine.
silver back in
Anastasia
Tokyo in
Moskalenko
2020. Double European champion in 2018 and 2021.
with a lifetime best of 24.53 from Slovakia.
Leah Majnikova,
Majnikova.
18 years of age. 24.53, her lifetime best set this year. That means that
Already
we
in the
have one
chair and
more.
waiting to be the first thrower.
Hello.
Fourth in the world last year
Akramova,
from
who was
Uzbekistan.
7th in the Paralympic
Makinyo
Games last year,
Akramova.
20 years of age. She will be the first up to go. Lifetime best of 23.77 for her. Harry Potter's here, Gryffindor, Hogwarts. Can't see it now, the arms are folded. There was a great crowd in last night. Plenty of Indian interest. There'll be more tonight, and the people will come in. There's a great crowd down to the far end where the 100-metre track starts. Building down there, drums, musical instruments, all types of stuff. Yeah, just the weather we had before, it was absolutely lashing it down. And I can tell you now that if that was the type of weather we had at the moment, we would not be in this position where Akramova is about to start with the women's club throw F32 seated category. We would have had a few issues. So the world record and championship record in this event held by Tunisia's Marua Ibrahimi, who is competing, the three-time Paralympic champion and a four-time world champion. But it's time to
First
move
up, the
across.
F43 world record holder from India.
Absolutely,
Pushpendra
because it is
Singh.
the men's javelin F44 in a couple of hours' time, the F64. These have been separated.
For the best
They
of
were
60
together for the
metres
Paralympic
79
Games
from Brazil.
last year. This was
Dennis
last World
Lisson,
Championship
Roberto.
event, back in 2017 in London when Akam Stewart won it. We've seen Pushpendra Singh.
Best of
That's Eddie Nielsen
61-17,
Roberto,
a
who
home
finished
athlete from
sixth
India.
in
Mahendra
Tokyo 4
Gurjar.
years ago. Mahendra Gurjar, 61-17 is lifetime best this year.
Next
So
up,
that
the
would
best
rank
of
him in the top
62-50
5.
from Morocco.
This man finished
Zakaria
6th among the
El
64s
Zouri.
and the 44s from Morocco in Paris last year. Zakaria El Zouri.
For the best of
Next up for
66-29 from Australia.
silver and bronze at the
Michael
last two
Burian.
Paralympic Games for Mikhail Burian. Next up
the
for
best of
India, 7th in the
62-82,
javelin
another
last year,
athlete from
but he's
India.
a 62
Sandeep
thrower, so he's
Sanjay
contending for a medal
Sagar.
here for Sandeep Sagar.
For the best of
For
61-04
Ukraine,
from
fifth in the
Ukraine.
javelin.
Roman Novak.
In Paris last year, Roman Novak.
The best
Fourth
of
of the last two
66
Paralympic
metres 18
Games.
from India.
It's Sandeep
Sandeep.
for India. And a man
And
who
finally,
is
with the
regularly on
best
the
of
podium
52-93
has done so many
from
times
Lithuania,
in European
Jonas
Championships, including
Budis.
in Bydgoszcz. In 2021, it is Jonas
Your
Budis.
athletes for the men's javelin throw F44 final.
So the ultimate world record held by Dulan Kodatuwaku of Sri Lanka last year in Paris at the Paralympic Games. He is an F44, he is not in this. So they have been all bunched together previously. Those in the 60s have prosthesis, those in the 40s do not. And 44 is a single below knee impairment. So yeah, we're going to hope for a nice atmosphere, a great atmosphere here. It would be very, very welcome indeed. And the javelin really excited the crowds here last night, and it can do so again. It's Pushpendra Singh, the F43 world record holder, who is the first to go. Now that's heading up towards the last line. His world record, 62.09 from Paris 2 years ago. Eddie Nielsen Roberto just getting ready for the moment. I should tell you, by the way, so there was a lot of rain and quite a few bits of flooding around, including in the stadium. So we'll find out very shortly if the live results are working. As in, we're going to find out now. 61.10. They are working. That's the lead. I mean, that's brilliant. That is 99 centimeters off his world record from Paris 2 years ago at the World Championships. So the complication for a lot of these athletes has been they've had to compete against 64s as well, but now they've been separated out, which I think a lot of those competing in the 64 and the 44 step will feel is a bit fair.
Yeah, it's always an interesting question of fair, and by splitting them out, it's not that they're necessarily saying that one classification is easier or more difficult. It's simply they recognize that it's just not the same. You want to be in a situation when you're comparing apples with apples and not apples with oranges. And the thing is, look, the classification system is good. It's good, but it's not perfect. And the reality is there's always going to be a spectrum. You have to draw the line somewhere, and they have to make a decision in terms of what is fair and when do you have just way too many classes.
Eda Nielsen Roberto has got that beyond 60 meters. That's very impressive. So there's a whole lot of different world records to watch out for. He's at 42. There's 9 in this, and they're split between 42, 43, and 44. A good distance, but it's a no throw. And they were going out to measure it, and it was beyond 60. But unfortunately for him, no dice.
There's a wonderful crowd just behind where they're actually throwing drums, all sorts of paraphernalia coming out to support the Indian athletes. It's wonderful to see.
And I'll just make a quick point about Pushpendra Singh, who leads here with that throw of 61. With that world record from Paris, he finished 5th in that, as there were 4 others from other classifications ahead of him. And obviously he has that issue here a little bit also. So the next to throw, Mahendra Gurjar, who's a 61.17 thrower this season, and that is his lifetime best. And if he can produce something similar, then that would get him well in the mix for the medal straight away, you would imagine. He has been a world record holder previously. He's got that one out decently. It's around 55. World record holder in the F42, so 61.17, the mark to watch for him.
While we wait for Gurjar's mark to come up, just a quick final note on classification. So as I was saying, they do their best to make sure that athletes are competing against other athletes with a similar level of ability. Now, it's never going to be perfect, and this is a perfect case. Yes, we have taken out athletes with blades from this category, but if you're watching the live results, you'll see that even within this category, we have F44s, F42s, F43s. Mark there has come up at 54.19. He will go into 2nd position. So we can still see that we have a variety of different impairments, and as I was saying, the reality is that you always have to draw the line somewhere. There's always going to be a spectrum. Athletes will always be at one end, the higher end or the lower end, and it's tough, and that is one of the challenges of para sport.
So next up is Zakaria El Zouri of Morocco, 4th in the World Championships in Paris in 2023, and when he went back there a bit up north in the city in Saint-Denis, he finished 6th at last year's Paralympic Games. So that's about 55. Just trying to edge Gurjar, get into position a little bit for the time being. He's 26 years old. Season's best 59.62, which is down quite a bit. It would rank him 5th in that. 62.50 as lifetime best is decent. And anybody striking something like that today will be doing very well indeed. And that for El Zouri, 55.48. He goes into the silver medal position. So next to go, a man who's used to winning a whole load of medals For Australia, it's Michal Burian. Bronze in the Paralympics last year in Paris. It had been silver 3 years earlier in Tokyo, and silver in Paris at the Worlds at the Stade de Charletti. He's a 66 man at best, 61 his peak this year. That last line is 60 meters. Squeezes just over 50, which he'll not be terribly satisfied with, but he's got the white flag. It will count. Probably best just to get the mark in and then try and improve on it as we go on. Lots of field action early on. Remember, we've got the women's club throw, women's shot put F34 to keep an eye on. But Burian, who's originally from Czech Republic, 53.03, and that puts him at the moment in 4th spot. 3 global medals he's got in his career, looking for another one today. And now Sandeep Sargar finished 5th in the World Championships in Kobe last year in this, and 7th in the Paralympic Games. Over 60 this year, 61. Now nobody, as of yet, has come close. Anything like their best today, but he's giving this a good tilt. That'll be beyond 60 though. And it's looking like India won 2 early on. Sandeep Sanjay Sargar going long. Pushpendra Singh leading 61.10. But that might have just changed it.
Now I have a theory on why the Indian athletes are so good at the javelin throw. And actually, if you look at it from a biomechanical perspective, there are a lot of similarities between the way a cricketer does a fast bowl and the way that you launch a javelin.
Well, Sargar leads 61.51. That's a delivery and a half. It's a season's best, and he goes into the gold medal position.
And actually at the Tokyo World Championships, there were so many of the Indian athletes with biographies that started with, "I was talent ID'd while on the cricket pitch."
Here's Roman Novak, 5th in the Paralympic Games in Paris, and he's not got that as far. It's just shy of 50. It's around 47, 48. Ah, yeah, if only they'd cricket in Ukraine then. Oh well. But he's been around a while. He's thrown 61 this season. He doesn't have a season's mark, it's worth pointing out. 61 being his lifetime best. Novak looks to have crept into 3rd spot. That's 57.58 for him. And that will do nicely for now. So here comes Sandeep. He has his supporters here, and that's good news. So in the last 2 Paralympic Games, he has finished in 4th. He was 6th in Paris at the Worlds 2 years ago when he was battling with everybody else. He's a 62 man this year, 66 lifetime best. He's looking to get that one out. That'll get him into the top 3. It's beyond 60. The last line is 60 meters. He gets the white flag, and Sandeep right now makes it India 1-2-3. It was a belting effort. He's in front, 62-33, and the game is on.
I'm so glad we got the side-on replay of that throw from Sandeep. When a javelin is beautifully flighted, you can tell. There are 2 things that really matter when it comes to launching it, and it is the release velocity, but it's also the release angle, and you could just see that Sandeep released that one perfectly.
Jonas Budis of Lithuania. He has been a regular medalist in different disciplines, but in this one today, it'll need to be a bit further. That's shy of 50 meters. We've seen him in lots of finals in the shot. Now, mainly javelin he concentrates on now. 7th. A leading finish in Dubai. 6 years ago now. And that's 46.65, and he goes into 8th position. Spudis is 45 now. He's been around a good while, he's been throwing a good while. It's at European level where he's had his best successes. Finished silver behind Novak in Bydgoszcz in the most recent European Championships in 2021. 4 years since we've last had a Europeans. So Sandeep leads 62.33. Sanjay Sagar second, 61.51, and Pushpendra Singh third, 61.10. That's the 1, 2, 3 for India at the moment. Now, we had a clean sweep for Britain in the women's 400 metres T34. Hannah Cockcroft leading them around the way, around the track again. Could it be a clean sweep for the home nation here? Gotta say, it was a dramatic journey back to the city earlier, because in the space of about 15 minutes, a massive amount of rain had collected. A bit of flooding on the roads. Interesting seeing so many on motorbikes. It is a motorbike city, very much, just hovering under bridges to stay dry and keep out of trouble for a little while. And we had a few flashes of lightning as well, so we have had a thunderstorm come and go. Nice enough night.
First event on the track for the evening is men's 200 metres T37. So Luis da Costa, who took silver here in the 100 metres at these championships, bronze medalist in Paris last year, does not start. So a field of 7 only in that final. "18 years of age, who's also in the 400 metres of these championships from Ukraine, Mikola Rajski, will go in lane number 2. Well, there's the man who's the Paralympic and world champion. He also won the 400 metres gold in Paris, plus bronze in the 100 metres. He's also the championship record holder. Andrei Verdovin will go in lane 3, neutral para-athlete. Well, we may have lost one Brazilian, but we still have 2. Bartolomeu da Silva. Going lane 4. Ali Al-Nakli, who was 7th in Paris last year, 4th in the 100 metres here, just missing out in the medal of Saudi Arabia, goes in 5. It means lane 6 is not occupied, so we move to lane 7. Anton Fyokstatov, who was in the 100 metres, he's also competing in that 400 metres as well as this 200 metre final in lane 7. The second of the Brazilians, Ricardo Gomes de Mendonça. He's taken gold in the 100 metres here at these championships already. Silver medalist in Paris last year, bronze in Tokyo 2020. Last but not least, in lane 9, Michał Kwiatkowski of Poland. Silver medalist in Kobe last year. European champion in 2018 in Berlin. Silver in Bydgoszcz back in 2021 in lane 9. Just waiting for the starters' orders to take their blocks, which is happening now. So So we have the 400-meter world champion in Da Silva from Brazil. We've got the 100 metres world champion. He's already taken gold here, Gomez de Mendonca. That there is Mikhail Kotkovsky going in lane number 9. Men's 200 metres T37 final. They get away with no problems, and it is Gomez de Mendonca who motors on the inside of Mikhail Kotkovsky. Verdovin is over there in lane number 3, the Paralympic and world champion. It's de Mendonca at the moment. Verdovin's making a run on that far side, but it looks like it's going to be Ricardo Gomez de Mendonca who's going to take it. He's going to do the double, the 100, and now he's the 200 metres world champion. 22.78. He's outside the championship record, but he makes it a double. He takes victory in the 200 metres to add to his 100 metres gold. He just took off around that first 100 metres, but he managed to maintain season best time of 22.77. It's round 2. Well, that was some run. He just ran the bend ever so well. Da Silva, the 400 metre world champion, has taken the silver medal in 23.10, lifetime best for him. Verdovin, the dethroned champion, with bronze, season best 23.31. But de Mendonca, he ran that bend superbly, Steph.
Well, when I saw de Mendonca come off that bend in the lead, I knew it was all over. We saw in the 100 meters that de Mendonca has the best top end speed, and the way that he won the 100 meters, coming from behind, trusting it, you just knew coming down that home straight he was going to take it. But I think he was also really clever with how he ran the heats this morning. It's unusual to see an ambulant race have both the heats in the morning and then a final at night, and so it was a game of recovery, and he just took half a second off what he ran in the heats, keeping some of his cards to himself for this final.
Well, that's a lovely shot there. Those 6 athletes together. Gomez de Mendonca, what a championships he's had. 100 metre gold already, and he's added the 200 to it. Super athlete, and he's been in wonderful form. So good here. And in his heats, he's just been able to almost coast the last 10 or 20 metres and just save himself for those finals to come up with the big efforts. He may not have taken a championship or a world record, but he's taken 2 golds. This one here, just a wonderful example of how to run a bend if you're a youngster watching on with that. I'm sure the Saudi contingent enjoyed it as well. They had Ali Al-Nakli in it, he coming in 5th place. So a bit of disappointment for him, but still a fantastic run, 23.56 for Al-Nakli. Lifetime best and season's best for the top 4. It is Gomez de Mendonca, Da Silva and Verdovin picking up those gold, silver and bronze medals. Vjosa-Tolba, a lifetime best for him, just missing out on the bronze in 4th place. Al-Nakli in 5th, Kotkovsky 6th and Raisky in 7th. Luis da Costa, a non-starter, the man who won silver in 100 here already at these championships.
So this men's javelin F44, we continue. It is in India 1, 2, 3. And here's the reigning European champion for Ukraine, Roman Novak, coming now. Silver in the previous champs in 2018 in Berlin. And that's up and that's down, and that's just around 50 meters. And it's a red flag anyway. Well, that's not one for the highlights reel. He's down in 6th right now, which is a spot of bother for him, really. He's out of the medals by 4 meters or thereabouts. He is a 61.04 man. That's his lifetime best, which is 6 centimeters shy of the current bronze medal spot. So he's going to need a little bit more in order to push on. Speaking of which, here is our leader, Sandy. He's been in 3 global competitions before, 2 4th places and a 6th, but he's top of the pops right now. 62.33, looking for another one beyond 60 meters. That's the magic line. The top 3 from India have all made it there, and that's a red flag.
It made front page news yesterday when you had 2 Indian athletes going gold and silver in the men's F46. And even just around the hotel today, I had 4 different people ask about the athletics specifically and where they can come and watch it. And this is exactly what India was hoping for by watching these games, to get more interest in their home country in parasport.
The 2014 European champion in Swansea, Jonas Budis of Lithuania, silver, most recently in Bydgoszcz behind Novak. He's down in 9th right now, 46.65, and that might be a slight improvement, but he's going to stay in 9th because he's 8 meters shy of 8th spot, and there would be a cut-off for him. His lifetime best is 52.93. and even that would not be enough to get him to the top 8 to have the full 6 throws. He stopped well. Still, the distances very impressive. It's the final of the women's 200 meters. T13 and 7 go to the line. All of these, bar one, involved in the 100 meters final on Sunday, won by Ireland's Orla Comerford. It was silver for Rayan Suarez and bronze for Kim Crosby. But Adi Iglesias, the former Paralympic and world champion, does not start. Well, in lane 2, neutral athlete, 16 years old, 6 in the 100 meters final, Olga Drozdova in her championship debut. In lane 3 for Costa Rica, 4th in the 1 and the 2 in last year's world champs in Kobe, 8th in the 100 here, Melissa Calvo. Next up in lane 4 for the Netherlands, she was 4th in the 100 meters final. She was very close to it, improving all the time. Still 20. Zara Temming got involved in the sport. Sister Dutch Rugby International went along to a Parasports tryout day. Look at her now. Nobody in 5. Iglesias singing off, I'm afraid. Kim Crosby in 6. Bronze in the 100 here. The Pan Am champion formerly in the 100, silver in the 1 in 2019 in the Worlds in Dubai. Kim Crosby. In lane 7 for Brazil, silver in the 100 here, but she is the reigning world champion from Kobe last year, Paralympic champion in the 4, Rayan Suarez. The world record holder, broke it in Sao Paulo in August. Hot form from her. And hot form in lane 8 for the new 100 meters world champion, the Paralympic bronze medalist in the 100 in Paris last year for Ireland, Orla Comerford. And that's one shade of green, and this is another. Neutral athlete in lane 9, 4th in the 100 and the 400 in the last Europeans in Bydgoszcz 4 years ago, Maria Yulianenko. So it was Comerford, Suarez, Crosby, the 1, 2, 3 in the 100. Nice to see the 200 coming back at T13 level. So a gap in between Temming and Crosby. Lane 5 is empty. It's Drozdova in 2, Calvo 3, Temming 4, Crosby 6, Suarez 7, Comerford 8, Yulianenko in lane 9. Fastest this year, the world record from Suarez, she's in 7th. The final of the women's 200 meters, T13. They're away. There was a little bit of a shudder on the blocks, but they're out, and Comerford is out, and Suarez as well. Coming towards the crowd of the men is Comerford, who's leading right now, but moving up is Crosby and Suarez. It's the three medalists from the 100 metres who are jigging it out. It's Orla Comerford in front for Ireland. Suarez is fighting back. Comerford is pushing up further now. Comerford against Suarez for the gold. Orla Comerford going for the double for Ireland, and she has done it. Orla Comerford gets the 200 metres gold to go to the 100. 24.71. Suarez second, stumbled over the line. Crosby was trying to move up for third, but Orla Comerford does the double. It's her second gold of the week. It's Ireland's third. What a start. 2 European bronze medals previously. Then that Paralympic bronze that changed her career and her life. She's made front pages before as an award-winning artist, and now she's got the ultimate award on the track. A double world champion. Comerford won, Suarez 2. Crosby indeed did get the bronze.
Wow, what a win for Comerford to come out and take down the new world record holder. One of my notes going in was thinking, okay, Orla Comerford is going to have to really make sure she maintains her focus because Suarez de Silva might come past her, but it didn't happen. She had such an amazing start, really using all that work that she's done in the 100 meters. She got such a lead on Suarez de Silva. I think it was actually quite off-putting for Suarez de Silva, and in the end, you could see Suarez de Silva realizing the danger, realizing that line was coming, and she wasn't making up any ground on Comerford. That was a hard-fought gold medal. Just see there, she got such a good start, and I'm sure that at this point, Suarez de Silva's thinking she's going to come back. I've got the 400-meter endurance. I'm going to do this, and yet Comerford thinking, "Thou shalt not pass."
Great victory for Comerford, and you can just see an injury for Suarez coming into this taped up. And stops on the line, and nothing stopping Orla Comerford now of Raheny Shamrock. Suarez gets the silver. The world record holder is turned over. The world champion is beaten by the new world champion, Orla Comerford. So Comerford takes it 24.71 for Ireland, a third gold of the week. Rayan Suarez, the silver for Brazil, and Kim Crosby the bronze for the United States. Lifetime gold for Yulianenko in fourth. Coaches Daniel Kilgallen, who's here, and Eamon Flanagan, who does strength and conditioning, also does that for Greta Stray-Makite. So 3 gold medals in 72 hours for him, except it's not, because he was also responsible for 2 more in the World Rowing Championships in Shanghai in the weekend for Ireland. Women's single sculls, mixed double sculls, 5 goals. Now, men's javelin, F44, and that's a zinger beyond 60. Aidan Nielsen Roberto has shuffled into the pack, and he is now in the silver medal position. He's just thrown 62.31. Zachariah Elzari in a spot of bother in 8th, but then his lifetime best is down a little bit and hasn't been able to force his way up. Prior to this, 55.48 in the opening round. He's down in 8th. That's 61.31, and Elzari goes into 4th position, and that is close to a lifetime best. In 6th spot for Australia, Mikael Burian, 57.88 in the previous round. He is a 60-meter thrower this season. Needs to get beyond 60 here to get into contention, and that is just short of it. He does get the white flag. A big move for Burian earlier in his life when he moved from the Czech Republic. He's with Sandringham Athletics Club. He's coached by Dale Stevenson. That was 57.06. Stays in 6th spot. So Sandy Sanjay Sagar currently 3rd. 62.11. 5th in the Worlds in Kobe last year. 7th in the Paralympic Games in Paris at the Stade de France. .62.11, his best so far. That is again beyond 60 metres, and very impressively so. Quick word about Roberto, by the way. His 62.31, he's an F42, and that is a world record, beating the previous mark, going back quite a few years now, quite a few months, by Mahendra Gurjar, which was 61.17 back in May. Multi-category, multiple chances for records, multiple chances for the lead. Sandeep Sanjay Sagar, 62.68, and he goes top of the pile. Brilliant throw.
And this is why you have to sit on the field events. With every single round, anything can change, and the crowd is loving it. I mean, they've got drums going. If noise could help flight these javelins, the Indian athletes are definitely going to win.
Novak, no joy on this occasion, and a red flag. So 2 of his 3 have been no throws, but 57.58 is still a season's best for him. He's 37 now, just turned 37, September '88. Born when Robin Beck was number 1. First time European champion. Bydgoszcz 5 years ago. Sandeep has lost the lead. Can he regain it? 62.33 in the opening round. No throw in the second. He's seen what's happened and he's trying to respond. It's just over 60. Won't quite be enough.
You get a great shot there of the kind of action that it takes to flight a javelin. So when the athletes do their run-up, they're probably coming in at about 5 to 6 meters per second. But when they release the javelin, it's closer to 25 meters per second. And where all of that speed comes from is the way that they use that kinematic chain from their feet straight up through to their core, through their arm, through their wrist. That is where all that additional speed comes from. It's very technical and very tough on the body.
Women's 100 metres T11, the first heat of 3 set to go. There'll be 3 going in this, just the first that goes through, and then the next fastest across the 3 heats who doesn't finish in first position goes through to the final. Just a quick one on the F32 women's club throw as well, the final taking place there. Anastasia Moskalenko, the 3rd to go, with an opener, broke the championship record. She's the Paralympic and World Shot Put champion. She may well be the club throw champion soon. So 22 starting in this one. We have a non-starter. We do have Liu Yiming though, the 19-year-old at her first major championships. They've got great pedigree in the T11 category, do the Chinese, not just the T11, 12s and 13s as well. Yolanda Moko, she's already won silver over the 400 metres at these championships, the Angolan, and she'll go with her guide, Abra Sapalo, in lane number 5. Lane number 7 will be vacant. Sandra Chichedo of Cameroon has failed to make the start line. So just one will go through of these pair into the final. 3 heats, this the first of them. Now this will take a little bit of time to get sorted. We'll have to have silence as well. Now it is down the end where the drums are cheering on those Indians in the shot put, or javelin I should say, but we'll just have to have a bit of calm and quiet for a moment while the guides can set the athletes up. The hearing sensors are required in this with complete visual impairment. They do wear the eye patches and then they wear the masks over the top as well. So until we have that silence in place, we won't be underway in this opening heat of the women's 100 metres T11. Well, there's Andrew Parsons, the re-elected IPC president, who's made an appearance, re-elected on Saturday. What day is it today? Tuesday. So he'll be happy. Brazil doing very well. Making time for the National Paralympic Committee members of India who are hosting these championships, obviously. Surrounded by the Indian flags. So another turn for Andrew Parsons and another turn for these athletes to get themselves sorted. We've got the required silence we need now for them to get set up. So if you're new to para sport, there is a tether that the guide holds. You'll see in a moment when they get themselves set up. The guide sets the athlete up first, then the tether is applied between the athlete. There it is. What a wonderful shot that is. Look at that tether held between the two, and the athlete must cross the finishing line first. They use 2 lanes because there are 2 in there, obviously going. So they jump in the opening heat of the women's 100 metres T11, and it is Lu Yuming who gets out quickest of all. Moko is doing her best to try and catch up, but it is Lu Yuming. She looks very good indeed as she goes across the line in first place. 12:24 is that time. 0.11 of a second outside the championship record held by Teresina Guillermina. That was set back in 2011. That's a decent run indeed. 19 years of age, first major championship. And that looked like a very solid run indeed. She looked strong and goes through to the final.
She looked very strong, and 2 things really impressed me about that run. The first one was the way that Liu and her guide Chen started. Their drive phase was fantastic, and you can just imagine how difficult it is without the sensory information from your eyes to maintain the right position. But hang on, now watch right here. Watch the guide. Watch the action of the guide, because this is also very impressive as he goes past the finish line. Now the reason he's doing that, I think he was just so excited they were going so fast, and then he realizes, oh no, I cannot cross with my chest before Liu crosses, because the way that the timing system works, they have to get a clear picture of the athlete crossing. And if that guide crossed first, if Chen crossed first, it would have been a disqualification.
Well, Andrew Parsons, centre of screen there. I'm sure he enjoyed that, surrounded by those National Paralympic Committee members of India. One thing about the guides, though, you'll see that the male guides, we reiterated, the male guides are usually with the female athletes, because you just can't find enough female athletes who can run as guides and keep up with them. Lifetime best then for Lu Yiming. She goes through to the final. Moko, season best for her, 12:84. She will now have to wait to see if she qualifies and advances to the final as one of those lucky losers.
Just a word, by the way, Sandeep didn't improve last time. It was 60-49, his 3rd round throw for the 2019 World Champion, 2018 Asian Games Champion. So now Roman Novak has picked up medals in the last 2 European Championships. He's 8th though. His last 2 throws have been no throws. He's trying to get this a good way. It's around 56 meters or so. But he's having difficulties in getting his rhythm going, getting the trajectory right. There's obviously a bit of power lost with the impairment. He's got that one. He's solidly towards 60. 60-104 is lifetime best. He's a bit behind at 56-15. Stays 8th. This is the second heat of the women's 100 meters T11. And we've got 3 going in this, including one of the perennially great champions from Brazil. The reigning world and Paralympic champion, Jerusa Geber, who is also the Pan Am champion, but it's almost a given. So it's time to say hola to Irene Serda, a championship debut at the age of 17, and her guide, Juan Francisco Carrillo. Part of the growing Mauritius team, Julie Assaun. He to the 1 of the 2 last year in Kobe, and her guide, Jean Lagalliard. And in 7, what a superstar. 5-time world champion, 4-time Pan Am champion, 5-time Paralympic champion, Jerusha Geber, and her guide, Gabriel dos Santos. She herself is Jerusha Geber dos Santos. She's been winning major championship medals since 2008 in Beijing, when she claimed bronze there. Seven Paralympic medals, but finally hit gold in Paris in the 1 and the 2. She's 43 now and showing absolutely no signs of slowing down. And remember, there was Guillermina with the colourful eye patches, and there was Julia Santos, as well as Jerusha Geber dos Santos. That was a team and a half, and clean sweep central back then.
As well as our favourite thrower from Italy as well.
Lanyante.
Exactly, Assunta Lanyante with the masks.
Yeah, who was previously outright European champion in 1990 in Split, if I remember. Little bit of colour. Andrew Parsons retaining his position during the week, so will Jerusha Geber retain hers. She is the world champion. It's only the winner to go through, plus the fastest runner-up. Serda in 3, Assaun in 5, Jerusha Geber in 7. And they're away first time. Nice start by Assaun, but Geber getting into a rhythm now. A great rhythm with Gabriel dos Santos on the way to victory. Jerusha Geber heading for the final and doing so in 13.18. Decent time, Assaun in 2nd and Serda in 3rd. And obviously, for Assaun, a prospect and a chance of making her way through to the final as the fastest runner-up. She had to be quicker than 12.84, and she hasn't been, because that winning time is slower than Moko's runner-up spot in the previous heat. So Assaun is out, but the Mauritian has done well with the season's best.
It's an impressive race from dos Santos, but it has to be said, it is impressive that she is still so fast at 43. And I hate highlighting athletes' ages because it's definitely not the most interesting thing about them, but speed tends to decrease as you get older. But that's just a generality. There are always outliers, and dos Santos certainly is an outlier in that respect.
It's a perishable skill, isn't it? Quite simply.
Yeah, you got to take your chances when they're there very much. Use your head. It always works. Gabriel dos Santos very much using his, and it's a Brazilian victory in that semi-final. In front of the Brazilian IPC leader. It's been a busy old week. I mean, we had the World Para-Swimming Championships in Singapore. That wrapped up the opening day of this. Next week is the World Para-Powerlifting Championships in Cairo. It never ends.
I wonder where you'll be.
Jerusha Geber takes it 13.18. Julia Assaun 2nd for Mauritius. Well, 13.81 she goes out, season's best, and Irene Serda 3rd for Spain. So for now, it's adios, but it's the start of what may be a glittering career. That para-powerlifting, it's live on the Paralympics YouTube, probably the Facebook, you'll find it.
I'm sure you'll be speaking. Now, let's just update you quickly on the women's club throw as well. F32 seating category won the first event to get under the wave. Moskalenko leads that. She set a new championship record with her first attempt, 24.89. She actually beat it with her final attempt, 25.83. So championship record for Moskalenko, who's the Paralympic and World Shot Put champion. She's also a 2-time European club throw champion. She's in the lead. Lifetime best for Akhramova, who's second of Uzbekistan. Majinakova of Slovakia is in third position at the moment. So there are 3 who have gone. We still have 7 left to go, though, all 6 throws taken at the same time in that seated event. We'll keep you up to date on that as we go through the course of the evening.
So on the track so far, goals for Brazil and for Ireland.
Up next is heat 3 of the women's 100-meter T11. So far, the first 2 heats have gone to script, and if that carries on, keep your eye out for Linda Perez in lane 3. She comes in with the fastest personal best. However, we don't have a marker for her season's best. Now, don't worry if you're looking at it and thinking lane 3 is empty. I've just got an eye on them. The athletes and their guides are doing their final preparation. Perez and her guide, Cassiano, did a final acceleration, and we're just casually walking back to that start line. Just get a little glimpse there of the last minute preparation. So much responsibility on the shoulder of those guides. 2 sets of blocks that they have to set up. They're very aware that a big part of the dreams, of the goals of the athlete beside them currently lies in their hands. Each athlete and guide pair are assigned 2 lanes for obvious reasons. 2 bodies involved, you have to have enough room. It could get tight in just 1 lane. Right, let's start with the lineup. In lane 3, we have Linda Perez running with her guide, Alvaro Cassiani. Perez, the fastest in this field, finishing 4th in Paris. In lane 5, Regina Dumbo with her guide, Florindo Livongu. Just 22, making her global championship debut. And rounding out the field in lane 7, Alba Garcia, alongside her guide, Diego Folgado. She did not make it out of the heat in Paris, the 23-year-old. Now this here is a championship record that has stood since 2011, held by Teresina Guilhermina. Now records don't last very long in this sport. It just shows you how high she set a standard for this event. Stadium has suddenly gone silent as the athletes prepare in the starting blocks. You can see there the tether, very, very highly regulated. Has to be a certain length between them, has to be made of a certain material. Now the coverings for the eyes are also heavily regulated in that they have to completely block out the light. It's very busy in the call room for the officials, so they have to make sure they check all the equipment, have to make sure that the eye patches are in place, along with the covering that goes over top. Now, while the eye covering is heavily regulated, as we've said, there is always room on that front for some flair, some interpretation, which some athletes choose to use. Perez in lane 3, Dumbo in lane 5, Garcia in lane 7. Just the first athlete going through. Oh, and that was a great start for Garcia, really taking Perez by surprise. Garcia is driving away at the moment. 1 spot available, they're going to take it. Perez, who we thought would win this heat on paper, is going to have to wait to see if she's a fastest qualifier. Dumbo coming across in 3rd. Wow, what a race from Garcia. She had that experience in Paris of not making it out of the heat. She's learned, she's come back, put down a personal best, 12 meters, 43, ensuring that she is gonna be in the final. And I say personal best, that is a huge personal best. More than half a second taken off in a single race. And in the world of the 100-meter sprinting, that is an obscene amount to take off.
Yeah, Perez has made it through there. To that final. I'll tell you what, she's made it through by 0.01 of a second. 1/100th of a second she's beaten off Moko by. Moko 12.84 in the opener. But Perez, she looked a bit sluggish, didn't she? She's going to have to find something else for that final. But Fallaghan, Garcia Fallaghan looked really good. Lifetime best, 12.43.
Just a fantastic reminder, there are never any guarantees. Past performances don't matter. Alba Garcia taking that heat in 12.43 with a fantastic personal best. Linda Perez will get another chance, qualifying as an automatic qualifier, 12.83. And Regina Dumbo coming through in third.
So there it is. Li Yuming, a lifetime best at the top of the pile. Garcia in second. Yamir went through with a win, but Perez Lopez has gone through as a qualifier. She's beaten off Juliana Boko of Angola by 0.01 of a second to go through to the final. Lucky perhaps?
She's been around a few years, but Linda Perez, remember the name. We'll be asking questions later. Glorious night here. Track finals will be continuing shortly. But back to the men's javelin F44. We are into round 5. And it's as you were, Sandeep Sanjay Sagar leading for India, 62.68. Sandeep second, 62.33. That's his 5th attempt. 62.67, and that is 1 centimetre off Sandeep Sagar. And the former Asian and world champion has come close to hitting top spot. He was only in the end 1 centimetre away from doing it. Had he matched Sagar, he'd have gone ahead of Kampak. Extraordinary. Here is our leader, Sandeep Sanjay Sagar. .68 his best, and this is a big battle between the two big throwers from India for the gold. Pushpendra Singh pushed down to 5th by Edenilson Roberto and Zakaria Alzari. You saw Alzari's sensational 4th throw. How sensational will this be? It's good. It's very good by Sandeep Sanjay Sagar. Come onto the scene in the past couple of years. And it's impressive. He likes it. 62.68 he leads on. 61.18 with his previous attempt. Has he done it? Oh, he has. 62.82 equals his lifetime best. And his lead is now 15 centimetres over Sandeep. And so when Sandeep won that world title in Dubai, his name was being reported as Sandeep. You may have seen it elsewhere as Sandeep Chowdhury, but he's just Sandeep here. So now it's the final of the men's 100 metres T72. This is the frame running, and the ultimate champion is in lane 5. He broke the world record in the semi-final. He's looking for more. He's going for gold tonight. Carlo Kulkarni. So 8 in this, and starting off in lane 2 with the championship debutant. He was 6th in the 400 metres final. Lithuania, Igor Markov. In lane 3 for Brazil, he's still only 19. Silver in Kobe last year and bronze in Paris 2 years ago in the Worlds. Vinicius Marquez, he was disqualified in the semi-final of the 4. In lane 4 for Lithuania, bronze in the 100 metres. Last year in the Worlds in Kobe, 4th in the 400 here. Davidas Parapayevis. This is the man to beat. This man right now is Superman. Gold in the 4, He's the reigning world champion, broke the world record in the semi-final, Carlo Calcagni. What's he going to do here? Alongside him in lane 6, championship debut from Brazil. He is 17 also, João Matos. In lane 7 for Scotland and Great Britain from Edinburgh. He won his heat in the 400 but was disqualified after. Finlay Menzies. It's a championship debut for him from Livingston AC. In lane 8, another championship debutant. He was 8th in the 400 metres. From the Axon Zamos club, it's Wojciech Kukielka. And in lane 9, 4th in the 100 metres final last year in Kobe, 5th the year before in Paris, Arturas Plodonovas. No Gavin Drysdale, by the way, who won the world title 2 years ago in a European record time, but I'm sure he'll be watching. So Markov 2, Marquez 3, Podobaevas 4, Calcagni here in 5, Matos 6, Menzies 7, Kukielka 8, Plodonovas 9, finally the men's 100, T72. Calcagni away, a good start by him, and he is away. Matos trying to keep up, but there's no living with Carlo Calcagni. 14.65 is world record and winning the semi-final. It's going to be another fast one for Calcagni. It's 14.79 to take the gold for Italy. Matos second. Brilliant from him. And I think Menzies might have come up for third spot. He won by almost a second. Calcagni with the gold for Italy. And Menzies wins the bronze for Britain in a lifetime best. For Calcagni, a lifetime best would have meant a new world record. He got that earlier today. It's a double gold for Calcagni. There's not many who've done that this week. Calcagni, unstoppable in this, 14.80. He takes the gold. Matos silver for Brazil, and Menzies the bronze for Britain.
No surprise there on the winner, Calcagni winning his heat by almost 3 seconds, but the other two athletes did give him a run for it, and I have to say I was quite pleased for Menzies, who came in third. He's just off screen at the moment, and we watched him lay down a massive personal best. Just take a moment to appreciate, look at that stride, look at that power, look at that leg turnover. Great stuff there from Calcagni. But you can just see there, third from the left, Menzies in the white helmet. He laid down a huge personal best in the 400 meters earlier in the week. Unfortunately, was disqualified for a lane infringement. It's really difficult to keep those frames in a lane. And now he's come back and put that disappointment behind him and come away with a personal best bronze medal.
Calcagni then takes the gold for Italy, 14.80. João Matos the silver for Brazil, 15.76, and Finlay Menzies the bronze for Britain, 16.29. Lifetime best. Kukielka missing out in 4th. And for Menzies, his parents, Jill and David, have travelled over from Edinburgh for this, halfway around the world. I think they're just in the row out of shot there. Probably. Week for Andrew Parsons. So there's been no development in the men's javelin F44, by the way. There've only been a couple of throwers since. Mahendra Gurjar down in 7th has just gone 54.84. His best is 57 high. That's him in 7th spot. The long-standing United States para-athletics coaches have been Joachim Cruz. Remember him well. Gold in the 800 in LA in 1984. Brilliant win. So now, Pushpendra Singh, the 5th last to go, lying in 5th place. 61.10 is best, so if he improves by even 22 centimeters, he goes into 4th. He needs a meter and a bit to go into the medals. He liked it, he loved it, but has it made it in India 1, 2, 3? 62.31 is his target. He's not made it. It's his best of the night. 61.94. It moves him to 4th. Elzari now looking for an extra metre exactly if he can do it, and it's not there. And he knows now it's not there. It's a white flag. He decided not to break the plane. But Elzari is going to finish 5th and Pushpendra Singh 4th. So we know the top 3 will be, but what will be the final order? There's only half a metre between them all, and it will not be a clean sweep for India. But Pushpendra Singh gave it a good go. Elzari 54.60, and he finishes in 5th. So the last 3 global championships, a 4th, a 5th, and a 6th. Down now to the top 3. Eda Nielsen, Roberto will have to wait.
Women's 100 metres T72 final. All 8 who are named do start in this, including the gold medalist already here, the 400, Andruszkiewicz of Poland. Overgaard of Denmark, silver in the 400. She was bronze back in 2019 when it was known as race running 3. There were 1, 2 and 3 categories. She took bronze then, now changed to T72. Almeida of Brazil, who was a bronze medalist in the 400 metres. Tortosa of Spain, she was disqualified in the final of the 400. She took silver in Kobe last year in this event and bronze at the Paralympic, in Paris, in Stade Charlotte the year before. Kulutska, who was 6th in Paris in 2023, she actually won bronze at the Olympics last year in speed climbing. She made the final of the 400 here. Sayers Grooms just missed out on the 400. She finished 4th outside the medal. She took bronze in this event in Kobe last year. The first American to win a medal in frame running. There's Magdalena Andruszkiewicz, who's won the 400 metres here already. She suffered a stroke 7 years ago. She was a dancer. Says she's found her calling in this. She's the reigning champion in 7. Carla Rism, 4th in Paris in Stade Charlotte in 2023. She was 5th here in the 400 metres. And in lane 9, Katrina Zizmarati, 21 years of age, her first major championship. Her twin sister Victoria was in the final of the T71 100 metres, finishing 6th. So they get away, no problems at all, and very strong as you would expect. Andruszkiewicz, who's won gold in the 400 metres, she races out in front, further inside. It looks like Almeida is falling the way. Tortosa is looking good for 2nd place, but it's going to be Andruszkiewicz out in front. What's the time? 16.80 seconds. That, by my reckoning, is a new world record. Maria Strong held it 17.07 set in Paris back in 2023. It is a new world record. She's taken chunks off the mark. 16.82. Magdalena Andruszkiewicz of Poland has added the 100 metre title to her 400 metre title she claimed here. She was silver back in 2023 to Maria Strong. Gold last year in Kobe. She's backed it up again with a world record here in New Delhi. Kulutska's held on for the bronze medal. So what a year it's been for Kulutska, who won bronze at Olympics in speed climbing. She's now picked up a bronze in the World Para-Athletics Championships, but that lady there is head and shoulders above the rest out in front. Magdalena Andruskovic. A double here at these games in the 400 and now in the 100. And look at the smile and sheer joy there for Judith Tortosa. She's just turned 20 years of age 4 days ago. And she celebrates with a silver medal in the women's 100 metres T72.
Oh, it's such a special moment. I almost don't even want to talk over it, but I will, because even though that was a fantastic world record from Andruskovic, I think that we're going to see a lot of that over the coming years. And that's because this event is now going to be in LA 2028, which means for a lot of countries, they are now going to start really focusing on it and paying attention to it and funding it. And we are just going to see the standard climb, climb, and climb.
Well, a world record for Andruskovic. She takes the 100 metres to add to the 400. Tortosa, lifetime best in second. Kalushka has picked up a bronze medal. She had tears of joy there. Let's look at it on the right of the screen. Tears coming out of her eyes. Look at that. That's joy unconfined. What a 12 months she's had. Bronze at the Olympic Games in speed climbing, and she's now picked up a bronze medal here at the World Para-Athletics Championships in New Delhi. That's what you love to see. The sheer joy of winning a medal. What a triumvirate that is. Andruskovic with the gold medal, world record time. Tortosa of Spain, lifetime best with the silver. And Sofia Kalushka of Poland, 19.16 for her. She takes the bronze medal. Well, it was Magdalena Andruskovic who got away so quickly. And they're the type of things you expect from her. In the 400, she just rockets that first 100 metres or so and then just pushes on from there. But an athlete of that class is hard to catch. Tortosa did her best there on the third and right of screen. The whole field did their best. But no one can keep up with Magdalena Andruskovic of Poland. So Poland 1-3. Queen of the T72, Magdalena Andruskovic with a new world record, 16.82 seconds. Taking a quarter of a second off the chunk that was set by Maria Strong when she won gold back in Stade Charity in Paris in 2023. Andruskovic with the gold medal here. Her compatriot Kalushka takes the bronze, and sandwiched in between the young Spaniard Judith Tortosa, who just turned 20 years of age. Celebrations for her birthday. They may be 4 days late, but she'll be enjoying it nonetheless.
Great success, world records abounding. And applause for India, who complete the 1-2 in the men's javelin F44. No improvement for either Sandeep Sanjay Sagar or Sandeep. 62.82. We saw the best throws. They both came in round 5. 62.82 for Sagar, 62.67 for Sandeep. And Edenilson Roberto improved his final mark by 5 centimeters. 62.36 is an F42 world record in that F44 final. Here's our champion, Sandeep Sanjay Sagar. What an improvement from 7th spot. Our winner on the left, the silver medalist on the right, who is listed here just as Sandeep, but as I was saying, as world champion and Asian champion, he was listed as Sandeep. And Roberto, Edenilson Roberto of Brazil, in his 4th global championship, picks up his first championship medal, and it's a bronze. And those final throws comparatively were a bit short by the top two. Sagar threw 60.95, Sandeep 59.69. They let them go during that world record T72 final. And as I say, all the pictures, apart from the occasional replays that we're getting from our host broadcaster, Indian National Television, they are live. There is a fields feed, as I say, that you can pick up depending on the territory you are in. Have a look out for it, have a search, you ought to be able to find it. So let's take a look then at the final round throws. Both landing around the 60-metre mark. That's 60.95 from Sandeep Sanjay Sargar, who is world champion for the first time. It's an India 1-2, and Pushpendra Singh almost pushed into the medals. Not quite, he missed out by just around 62 centimetres in the end. Sandeep Sanjay Sargar takes the gold, equals his lifetime best. Sandeep, the former Asian Games and world champion, the silver for India, and Edenilson Roberto with that world record in the F42. The bronze for Brazil. Pushpendra Singh so close to the Asian Games. Bronze medalist 2 years ago. Nalzari in fifth. Burian in sixth for Australia. And no joy for them in that competition. But the way this sport is, only a few moments away from another chance of a big medal and another final. Women's club throw F32, by the way, currently being led by Anastasia Moskalenko, Ukraine, 25.83. Habibi of Iran, second. Akramova of Uzbekistan, third.
Finals in this evening session, 9 on the track, 6 on the field. We're about to head back to the track for one more. Men's 100 metres T13, the least of the visual impairment category. Two things, Skander Athmani, the Paralympic and world champion, is not here, and Salam Kashafali was reclassified to T12. So those two won't be in this, but there is a very strong field still indeed, including Chad Paris of Australia. In lane 2, Germany's Max Marsilia, 24 years of age. He's also in the 400 metres here at these World Championships. Juan Serrera in lane 3. He also goes in the long jump tomorrow, does the Spaniard. 20 years of age. Kawakabe Shooter, who was bronze at the Paralympic Games last year, took silver in Kobe, setting a new Asian record in the process. Vegard Sved, lifetime best in the heat. His debut came in Doha back in 2015. Chad Paris, the White Tiger, he was fourth at the Paralympic Games. He missed bronze in Paris by 5 one-thousandths of a second. He was a bronze medalist in Rio in 2016. Will this be his day? Fabrizio Barros of Brazil in lane 7, formerly a T12 athlete. He's now T13. Lifetime best of 10.82. Watch out for him. Axel Zorzi. First major championship came in 2017 in London. If his running is as good as his dancing, he'll do well. He's in lane 8. And finally out in lane number 9, it is Igor Gostinsky, who's running as a neutral para-athlete, lifetime best of 11.15, season best 11.23. championship record 10:54 set by Jason Smith of Ireland. That was in Dubai 6 years ago. Salam Kashafali holds the world record of 10:37. That was set in Norway 2 years ago. So we're almost set. Men's 100 metres T13 final. There's a slight, I think it might have been the inside, it might have been Marzilia who just hesitated and slightly moved. I think it was Marzilia on the inside in lane number 2, but it was, well, it was minor. It was almost like a movement where he fell slightly. It's very hard to tell. Paris may have actually gone as well at the same time. Well, this will be a bit of a pickle for the judges to sort out. Now, we saw earlier, we saw a false start. There was a definite false start in one of the earlier races. This one, not so clear cut.
Well, this one I'm curious about, because for this classification, they do have the start information system online, which means that their pressure pads, they are engaged. And so we are going to get reaction times. Now, the reaction times have come up for us, and generally, if it is under 0.1 seconds, then that is registered as an automatic foul. However, we're not seeing that. No one has set off those pressure pads before they should, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. We'll see what the official says.
Green card's given, so no issues there. It didn't look like there was a clear break, that was the thing, so it's a fair decision. Now, as I said earlier in the day, in a separate race, we saw a clear break at the line, but that was not clear at all. So a green card given, and we'll reset and we'll go again. But that just brings the nerves up a bit more, doesn't it, Steph? So let's just run through them again. Marzilia in 2, Serrera in 3, Kawakami in 4, Sved in 5, Paris in 6, Barros in 7, Zorzi in 8, and Gostinski in lane 9. This time we're away with no issues at all. It was the Japanese athlete Kawakami who got out fast. Now I don't see, well, they've called them back. Now this is hard to see because it looked on that occasion as if it was no problems at all.
Do you know what I wonder? I'm just looking across to the finish line. It looks like the timer didn't start, perhaps. And we know that there have been a few issues with cables, and this is tough. I mean, you can see the audience is thinking, what's going on?
Well, the Australian supporters there out for Chad Paris. Paris has done what he normally does, Chad. When there's a false start or something happens, he usually goes the whole way down the track and they end up calling him back. But he takes his time because he's experienced, and that's what you want to do.
Now I've gone outside for that, and the gun, it's actually not very easy to hear. It's a lot lower in the speakers than you would expect, and they were called back obviously with 40 to go, and then Perez keeps going, and he's not the only one. I mean, Kawakami is a good chance, goes on too.
Well, Sved in the middle was running down with his arms out going, what on earth is going on here? And the same, well, there's nothing the matter with that start. Now's the problem, because the nerves, all of a sudden, they're jangling, and you've gone through 2 starts, and the second one was absolutely fine. So you might find now that what athletes do is they hold back.
And the problem with Kawakami as well and Perez is that they've got basically most of a 100 meters race done, and a competitive one too.
So as an athlete in this situation, the hardest thing is that you get out to that start line and you have a certain amount of adrenaline. We went and there was a false start, and you know, you kind of settle a little bit. And now you've had another run and you've spent another amount of adrenaline, and you can see the athletes are thinking, what is going on? That's totally fine. But as I said, I'm looking at the finish line, and there's no time has registered on the finish line at the moment. And so what I'm guessing is that they started the race and they realized the gun hadn't started and it would have been away, so they had to call them back.
Well, I think possibly because of the weather earlier, the system has gone down, because the CIS commentary information system in front of me has now just gone blank. And for all the live events, it says statistical information isn't there.
Now let me tell you though, there is a backup plan in place to use. It sounds a bit analog going back, but to use actual stopwatches on each of the athletes. Now, ratifying any records becomes more of an issue, and there's more paperwork involved, but it is a possibility that you can do that type of thing with the technology that we do have as well now. There is a chance of going back and re-registering those times through digital technology. So it's not an impossibility to run the race, have the positions decided, and then look back at it afterwards. But at the moment, there's no point in the athletes standing down there and just wasting up nervous energy.
It's definitely not an impossibility to carry on, but this is probably a situation none of the athletes have experienced before, to have 2 false starts and then now be down at the start line with no idea what is about to happen. In this case, this really is going to be a test of who can hold their nerve, who can maintain focus, who can ensure that the chaos doesn't get to them.
Well, we've got a long jump competition which is trying to get itself organised as well down below us, and that's causing a few dramas as well, no doubt, down there, because they want to get themselves sorted and get ready to go. But as it is, we've got the T13 runners, the 100 metres in the men's final, who are just waiting and trying to work out what they're doing at this moment. It's just hold your nerve, and those who can do that, maybe the ones who went out.
Unfortunately, the system's gone to sleep.
So anyway, let's move along. Women's long jump T63. There's a name there who we all know, Vanessa Lowe. Referee, take it away.
Well, while the 100-meter sprinters wait to find out what's going on, the women's long jump T63 will get started. Fortunately, that's a little bit easier to measure manually. Kicking things off will be Katie Magawa of Japan. She is a 3-time Paralympian, 3-time World Championship medalist across the 100 meters and the long jump. From the USA, Lindy Markussen. The former gymnast and bodybuilder is making her championship debut, although not a stranger to global competition. She finished 6th in Paris in the long jump. Now, a name we all know, Ambra Sambatini. However, we have never seen her before in this event. She is the Paralympic champion in the 100 meters. I'm very excited to see how she puts her speed to use here. For Spain, Desiree Villa Bargiela, former professional acrobatic artist. And from Denmark, Emily On, 4th the last World Championships. Also a former gymnast. 28-year-old for America, Noelle Lambert-Baird. She was 4th in the Paris Paralympics, just off that podium placing. 2 Japanese athletes competing here. Tomomi Tozawa. She was 2nd in Kobe, just pipping her teammate Magawa to that silver medal. And a very familiar face standing there in the green and the gold. Vanessa Lowe, 3-time Paralympic champion, 3-time world champion. Coached by her husband, Scott Reardon. She's going to be very difficult to beat. And rounding out the field, we have Alina Kratter. Now, she started off in para-alpine skiing, but athletics was very happy to claim the 2-time Paralympic bronze medalist. You can see Magawa there lining up on that runway, just waiting for the orange cone to be removed. Now, we know that there's a few problems going on right now with the system. And when it comes to the long jump, modern technology means that the long jump is now measured by the use of cameras. Cameras are set up around the stadium, concentrated on the long jump, and so we'll have to see if they are able to use that system. But back to the track.
We'll take 3. Men's 100 metres T13 final. Should have been finished about 10 minutes ago. Better late than never. So they line up again. Max Marzilia in lane 2 of Germany. Juan Serrera of Spain in 3. Kawakami Shuta of Japan in 4. Vegard Sverd of Norway in 5. Chad Perez of Australia in 6. Fabrizio Barros of Brazil in 7. Axel Zorzi of France in 8. And Igor Kostinsky, the neutral para-athlete, in lane 9. Well, this time they have officially gone, and it is on the outside there. Perison looked like he'd got away quick, but it's Kawakami who's flying down the middle. Kawakami from Paris, and on the outside of Paris is Barros, who takes up 3rd place, but it is Kawakami Shuta, bronze medalist last year in Paris, who's taken the gold medal for Japan here in this men's 100 metres T13. We thought he might have used up a bit of energy earlier when he went 3/4 of the way down the track. It didn't matter, 10.91's the time. Paris beaten by 0.05 of a second, 10.96, a silver medal for him. And Fabrizio Junior Barros, 11 seconds on the dot, takes the bronze medal. Zorzi misses out by 0.05 of a second. Joy for Paris picking up a silver. He's amongst the World Championship medals. Well, Kawakami, he didn't get away the quickest, but he made up ground after about 20 metres, and he absolutely flew down there in a time of 10.91 seconds.
You can see Kawakami there powering out, and you know, I was feeling a little bit sorry for him as well, thinking, oh, that's really tough that people have expended all that energy on that previous false start, but I'm getting a little bit technical here, and perhaps I'm reaching. There are a few theories about when it comes to priming for these races, and you want to time it right in terms of getting that full power through your muscles. And I wonder if it just kind of worked out for him, that with all that adrenaline, that ability to do that really hard run, then having a bit of a break, maybe that did just work out in his favor.
Very strong last 50 metres from Kawakami Shuta. Paris takes the silver. Barros holds on for the bronze medal. So a silver for Kawakami last year in his home championships in Kobe. This time he takes the gold. For Chad Perez, he's picked up bronzes before. He was silver back in 2019 in Dubai. He picks up another one here. And Barros of Brazil, formerly a T12 runner, picks up his first bronze medal at a major championship in 3rd.
We're going to nip back over to the long jump to get our first shot of Ambra Sabatini's long jump debut. Now, that is going to be a foul. Her blade clearly over the foul board on there, but the reason this is so exciting is because we know Ambra Sabatini as an incredible sprinter. She is a world and Paralympic champion in the 100 meters, world record holder in the 100 meters, but this is the first time that we're seeing her compete on the global stage in the long jump. And it's exciting because one of the most important assets to have as a jumper is that 100 meter speed. Now, it's a new event for her. She comes in with a personal best of 4 meters 67. And you know, it's tough. It's tough for even the most seasoned of long jumpers to really get that runway right and be experienced enough to be confident in it. But we will wait with anticipation to see her again in the second round. At the moment, both Nagawa of Japan and Sabatini sitting on fouls. Lila Bargiela taking her first attempt. Lila Bargiela was a professional acrobatic artist and a gymnast before a training accident broke her leg and resulted in an amputation. And that's a really interesting and really effective background to come from for a long jumper, because so much of this discipline comes down to the ability to, one, generate speed and power, but two, control your body, control your center of mass in the air. And you can imagine that gymnasts, with all of the flips and the training and the strength they'll have to have, at least that part she'll find as easy as you can in the long jump. 4 meters 40, she has gone into the lead. 4 athletes so far taking their first round attempts. Johansson of Denmark. Also a gymnast. See, I told you, gymnastic skills, very, very important when it comes. Look, I can't actually think of a sport where it wouldn't help you, but it definitely helps you in the long jump. On was 4th in the last World Championships in Kobe. This field is almost identical to the Paris 2024 final, just with that swap of the Italians. Sabatini taking the place of Caroni, Martina Caroni. So well remembered, known as an entertainer, decided to retire after Paris. That was Noelle Lambert-Bairn getting the white flag on her first attempt. What a story this is. Now, she was 4th in the Paris Paralympics, but she actually met Ryan Medrano while she was competing on the reality TV show Survivor 43. She had already been to the Paralympics. She let Medrano know that, hey, there's this thing called the Paralympics and you can compete in that too. And we've since seen Medrano win a silver medal in the men's T38 400 meters. Wow, championship record with her first attempt, 4 meters 55. Lambert-Bairn is now into the lead. She was the first American woman to surpass that 5-meter mark. She'll be hoping to do that here today. Tozawa of Japan doing the long jump 100-meter double here. Red flag. And we had a very interesting situation at the Kobe World Champs last year. Both Tozawa and Magawa had the same mark, 4 meters 66. However, in the end, it was Tozawa who was given the silver medal because she had a stronger backup jump. Fortunately, it's not so friendly in the long jump. It's not like the high jump where athletes can share medals. There's a clear system for deciding, and on that case, it just shows you the fine margins. Exact same distance that those backup jumps come into play. Vanessa Lowe of Australia. Now, India is a special place for her. She actually has the coordinates of Bengaluru, India, on as a tattoo, because that's where she made her international debut, and that was a fantastic leap from Lowe. Unfortunately, it's not going to register the kind of distance she was hoping for because she was so far beyond that board. Now, one of the things you'll notice with double-bladed long jumpers is it's incredibly difficult to be accurate on that runway. I mean, you can see she is absolutely flying. She is in excellent form, but giving away so much distance on that one. 4 meters 98, a championship record. Well behind the board. We'll keep an eye on her because I suspect she's going to be adding to that quite a bit. She comes in with a new world record of 5 meters 71. That was Alina Kratter taking off there into the pit. Another foul. Almost half the field has fouled in their first attempt. Now, one thing you might notice, Vanessa Lowe, 2 blades. The other athletes, just the 1 blade. WPA, World Para Athletics, doing their best at the moment to make sure that the athletes are split out into different categories as much as possible. It's not always possible because we need to make sure that we have a certain number of athletes in each event and make sure it's competitive. But one of the ways that they make sure that it's fair for athletes with double and single blades to compete together is they have something called a MASH system, a maximum allowable standing height. So there is a height at which Vanessa Lowe has to come under in order for her blades to be legal. Magawa taking her second attempt. Oh, that first attempt was a foul. That second attempt was a foul. And this is going to be a little bit of a stressful situation for Magawa. You can can just see the blade crossing there onto the blue part of the board. Now we have 9 athletes in this final and only 8 spots left for attempts 4, 5, and 6. She is going to have to ensure she gets a mark in that 3rd round, and it's going to have to be one that puts her in at least 8th place or above. A few athletes just really struggling with that runway at the moment. And currently, Lindy Markussen is sitting in 3 meters 89. Now, we know that Markussen can jump further than that, and you can just see that runway just got away from her. We know the runway is fast, we know it's hot. We've already seen a number of world records, championship records, personal best taking place on it. One of the things with long jump, though, it's so incredibly difficult to go all out and be precise. Just see there for Amber Sabatini, also really struggling with that runway. You just get a glimpse there of the frustration. Look, we know she's fast. She is the world record holder in the 100 meters. She is the Paralympic champion. But one of the difficulties, one of the challenges with the long jump, one of the things that makes it different from just sprinting is this need to be accurate. In the 100 meters, it doesn't matter. You can take as many steps as you want to get to that 100 meter finish line. But in the long jump, this is Sabatini's first season doing the long jump, and it can take some time to get comfortable with that runway, especially when you're under pressure. Vila Bargiera, oh, another foul. Now, fortunately, Vila Bargiera already has a decent attempt in her first round. She jumped 4 meters 40, and she's sitting in 4th place. She started competing as a 19-year-old, and her highest placing so far is 5th at World Champs.
So let's move on. Women's 400 meters T12, the category of medium visual impairment up to 5% vision. 3 going in this. Told you to remember the name of Linda Perez because this is her sister, Alejandra. Linda into the T11 final, so can Alejandra do the same. Bronze in the Paralympic Games in Tokyo, and then followed up with silver in the 2 in Paris last year. And behind Amara Duran, she won 3 silvers of the Worlds in Paris 2 years ago. In lane 5 for Namibia, she's never actually made it to a major championship final, so tonight might be the night for Laia Epinga and her guide Paulus Philippus. And in lane 3 for the Dominican Republic, silver in the 4 in the Pan Ams in Santiago 2 years ago for Manuela Jacinto. Her guide is Fari Mejia. And worth pointing out, Alejandro Perez also winning silver in the 1 and the 2 of the Pan Ams behind Omara Duran, who is not here. Her guide, Luis Herrera, for this. So again, it's the top 1, the winner of each semi-final, plus the fastest runner-up, fastest second placer will be on the way to the decider. So T12 guides are optional, mandatory in the 11s where there's complete visual impairment, and in the 13s no guides at all. So Jacinto in 3, Epinga in 5, Alejandra Perez in 7. Women's 400 T12. Silence surrounded the stadium. But now they're away. So the fastest lifetime best is by Alejandra Perez. She's had really good success. Silver in the 2, bronze in the 4 in the last 2 Paralympic Games. She's well clear right now. Epinga and Jacinta are fighting for second spot effectively, and how fast they can be. But Alejandra Perez looking very, very good, very, very smooth, the 27-year-old, and absolutely gliding round the bend. She's got really good, solid concentration up, being guided by Luis Herrera. Very smooth, just slightly ragged as they're coming round the crown of the bend, but then they straighten things up and look to improve the stance, improve the stature. It's a big lead they have over Epinga, but she's on her way. Her twin sister made it earlier. Second time's a chance for Alejandra. She's in the final as well. Epinga in second place, 58.91. The time irrelevant, the position all important. And Alejandra joins Linda in the final. Sister, sister.
Now, if you get a look there at Perez and her guide, Herrera, there is a very significant height difference going on, and that's actually quite unusual to see in an athlete-guide pairing, because what you want is somebody that has a very, very similar stride to you. And actually, I was so impressed with the guide. There were several moments during that he is having to severely, severely chop down his stride length, because of course he has to match the stride of Perez Lopez. And again, it's just a reminder that this really is a team event. There was a time when guide runners didn't get medals, which is crazy because they do all of the training with them. They shoulder so much of the work, and that for me was a really impressive display of a guide adjusting his biomechanics to match the athlete.
Good work by Luis Herrera in the end. Even for quite a few of the female athletes, Alejandra Perez making it through, 58.93. She's into the final. Lifetime best for Epinga, very impressive. Gives her a chance, 59.78, but Manuela Jacinto of the Dominican Republic is out. And if we have a massive rain delay at some point, we can go through whether it's the Dominican Republic or Dominica who have the Dominicans. Are they all Dominicans? We may know.
We'll put a pin in that and keep that as a conversation starter for later. But for now, Noelle Lambert-Bairn is about to take the runway for her second attempt. Now, she's waited very patiently. She's actually been on the runway since before the start of the previous race. That red cone is still out there, letting the athlete know that the judges aren't quite ready. So fingers crossed we're not looking at a problem with the automatic measuring system. But actually, while we have a little bit of time, if you are following the live results online, which I'm sure everybody is, you will notice at the moment that we have Vanessa Lowe in the lead with 5.98 meters, a championship record, and we have Noelle Lambert-Bairn in second place, 4:55, also a championship record. And just to clear that up, that's because we have two different classes competing here. Vanessa Lowe, a T61 athlete, which essentially means she competes with two blades, and Lambert-Bairn competing with just the one blade. And if you want to get really technical, you might be thinking, okay, well, is it fair to have a double-bladed athlete compete with a single-bladed athlete? And one of the ways that the rule tries to make it fair is they have something called the MASH system, which stands for Maximum Allowable Standing Height. So if you think about it, if you have the option to wear two blades, you could pretty much make your height whatever you want. I mean, you could theoretically come out here and be 8 foot tall, and of course, height can be an advantage when it comes to running and long jumping. However, what the MASH system does for all double blade runners is it measures the length of the femur, it measures the length of the arm, the length of the torso, and using a formula, it determines the maximum height that you would be statistically. Obviously, we don't have to use that for single blade athletes because their height is automatically determined by the length of their biological leg. So there we go. I got a little bit technical. Hopefully I didn't put any of you to sleep. However, very important when it comes to fully understanding and appreciating para-athletics.
I'm still with you.
That's a relief.
Yeah, just while we're waiting, by the way, a brilliant win that was by Shuta Kawakama. Kept his composure well in that men's 100 meters T13, having gone up the full 100 meters more or less, and Chad Perez did the same. Gosh, he's been around a long time. I remember him introducing himself with his former teammate Brad Scott at the World Championships in in Lyon back in 2013 and following his career since then. I know his family follow him around occasionally in championships with the can. His dad, Ken, normally watches. He might be here. Hearty congratulations to all three medalists. This is one tiger who's been around a while. Congratulations, one and all.
I have a question. I just Google searched it because I couldn't find the answer. What is the story behind the white tiger name?
He's got a tattoo of a white tiger on his chest, and he's albino, so he's the white tiger.
I think he picked it up for his AFL club playing in Western Australia. That's where he got the name from, White Tiger. Ken, if you're listening, can you confirm that? Thank you.
Right, men's shot put F11. This is a new competition. It is complete visual impairment. This is the event that in the women's Assunta Lanyante has absolutely excelled at down through the years. And this lad has been a very successful O-lad for Iran.
Indeed he has. It's been a slowish evening with a couple of things because of the delays we've had with the timing systems. Men's shot put F11 final is well into the ending part of it. Amir Alipour David leads the way, and there he is. This is penultimate attempt, a championship record with his second. And that is out over the 14-metre mark as well. That might be even further. 14:59 was that championship record for the Paralympic and world champion. That championship record, by the way, it stood since 2002 in Villeneuve. David Casinos was 14:56. Championship record now, though, held by Alipour David. Back on the track, the women's 400 metres T12. It's the second heat of three, with three set to go in this one. Here's Turkey's Savada Klinch. She's actually the reigning European champion from Big Gosh back in 2021. She'll go in lane number 7. Yadi Savadzadeh, Bobby Round, silver medalist last year, will go in lane number 5. She'll go without a guide not compulsory in T12 category. And Spain's silver medalist from the 2016 European Championships, who was bronze here already at these championships in the 1500, Izikan Ozes of Spain. So same as before, just the first qualifiers through to the final, and then we'll be looking to see if the second place for this is good enough to pick Pinger's time from the opening heat. To stand up, there's a lot of noise down the far end. We've got some field events going on. With the T12, you generally need a bit of silence because of being a visually impaired category. They need to hear and just hone in on that starter's pistol, which isn't allowed as it is. So the green card's been shown because all the athletes have been asked to stand up.
On your marks.
So I think the call's gone out from the stadium announcer if we can have a bit more hush just for the start of this race. As soon as it gets going, make all the noise you want. So heat number 2, women's 400 metres T12. Silver medalist from last year's Paralympics goes in. Safazadi goes in lane 5 in the white. You would expect her to be the one who does go through. She is a brilliant athlete. On the outside, the European champion, Sevda Kilic, along with her guy, Mustafa Kus, is being overtaken now by the Iranian Ingadi Safazadi. Left way back is the bronze medalist in the 1500 metres here at these championships, Izakun Ozis. So it is Safazadeh who heads around into the final 150 metres or so in the lead. She looks very good, stretching out. She's holding her form well, but doing ever so well also is Kilic from Turkey. She's sticking with the Iranian. She's doing her best to get there, but it's going to be Safazadeh who's going to take the victory. The 25-year-old heads across the line, silver medalist last year in the Paralympic Games, 57.42, and I made that a new championship record. 57.46. That's how I fit. She's outside the championship record. I got to be excited then. She did it pretty easy. So 58.60. It means that Kilic has actually moved up into that hot seat at the moment.
Now, I'm a little concerned at the moment. Just watch the guide-athlete pairing right now. They're very, very far apart. There's a lot of inefficiencies, and you can just see the guide is so far ahead of the athlete. And as you see, he's going to almost shove her through. I'm just worried about the review. I don't want to cast any doubts on it, but that makes me nervous.
I'm glad you said it, because I saw it further back down there when they came down with about 100 metres to go, and it was almost like there was a drag along at one point there. I don't want to say it. That's up to the officials to decide that one, but it looked as if there was a drag there, so we may so well see a disqualification. We'll let you know in the next couple of minutes. I got excited then because I saw a 2 and a 7 and got mixed up and became dyslexic for a minute.
Well, we have been looking at a lot of numbers for a long time.
That's why I wear glasses. Yep, wear glasses. So 57.46 for season best for Safazadeh then.
We are heading back to the final of the women's T63 long jump, and the story so far is a lot of delays. The women have had to wait around quite a bit and a lot of fouls. So at the moment we have 2 athletes currently sitting on 2 fouls. Now Crater was one of them. So important to get the green flag on that occasion. She has gotten it. Now the question is, what will the mark be? You can see there, she went very conservative for the second attempt. Her blade was well behind the foul line. A lot of athletes in this category. 5:16 for Crater. Now it's St. championship record. As I said, we know that Vanessa Lowe has also set a championship record. We do have 2, and that's because there are 2 different categories taking place. I will clean all of that in a second for you. At the moment, we have Magawa on the runway. Oh, and that was a significant jump because she was sitting there on 2 fouls. That really awful position to be in as a field athlete, knowing if you do not nail this jump, you are going home. She's been given the white flag, however, it was rather conservative. And so she had to do this difficult mix of, I need to make sure I get a jump in, and also I need to ensure that it's good enough to get me into that top 8. 3.99 well below what she is capable of. However, it will move her up the leaderboard.
Steffi Neris there, the Javelin World Champion, Berlin 2009, coaching all the German field athletes for almost 20 years now.
Well, she does know a thing or 2 about long jump, doesn't she? I wouldn't mind having her as my coach. Markussen of the United States. Now Markussen is 25, but she is still a developing athlete, and the reason for that is she had an accident later in life. She was a gymnast, she was a bodybuilder, she's making a world championship debut. She was in a car accident in 2017, and actually told some of the things that you said Sorakini has to get this jump in. Oh, no, and you can just see, oh, she's been struggling with that runway for the past 2 attempts, and it just went all wrong for her then. We'll have to wait to see the replay. I couldn't tell if perhaps she slipped off the board or if perhaps that knee just didn't load correctly for her. Let's take a look. Oh, you can see it was a slip. It was a clear slip. And that is so devastating. One, it's scary as an athlete because it just takes away the trust that you have in that leg, but also just so devastating. Now, the athletes do have spikes on the bottom of that blade, and they should dig into the long jump board, but sometimes when you're so far over the board, and if you've just placed your blade in the wrong place, perhaps a section that doesn't have spikes, oh, that can happen, and oh, what a huge disappointment for Sabatini.
It's the third heat of the women's 400 metres T12. Cullinan, Chen and Cretu.
Just to confirm also, it's still unofficial in that last heat, so we're still waiting to see the disqualification, which we think they're able to win.
Sword of Damocles is dangling. So again, 3 going into this, and this is Evelina Cretu. It's her 4th World Championship, no finals to her name, but you live in hope. She goes for Moldova. Goes in lane 7. Lifetime best of 108. In lane 5 for China. Asian Games, silver. 2023, a couple of bronzes. She was the Asian champion in 2014 in Incheon. And in lane 3, as a neutral athlete, bronze in the javelin here. She's dexterous, definitely. She was European world champion in that. It's Anna Kulinic Sorakina, 5 times a world championship medalist. And the Paralympic Games, bronze in the 2, twice over in Tokyo and in Paris. Silver in the javelin as well in Paris. Kulinic Sorakina with the guide Ilya Goncharov. Shen Yakin with the guide He Yu Chong. One letter away from being he and she, but they are that anyway. So Kulinic Sorakina in 3, Shen Yakin in 5, Evelina Cristina Cretu in 6. We're away in the first time of asking. Solid start by Shen Yakin. Kulinic has the faster lifetime best by 2.5 seconds over Chen, who was away really strongly, Shen Yakin. Well, she was down the standings in all of the events in this T12. Last year in Paris at the Paralympic Games, 4th in the 1 and the 4 the World Championships in Kobe. She is well clear of Kulinic right now, so she knows the time that she has to get. Of course, if she wins the heat, that would be an achievement. A lot still to be decided from the middle of these 3 semi-finals, but it's Shen Yakin who's out in front, and at the moment looking good. But now Kulinic goes up a gear, feeling she can reel Shen Yakin in, and that is precisely what she's beginning to do. But is she running out of time here? Kulinic Sorakina coming back. Shen is in the lead. Kulinic trying to get it. It's tight. It's Kulinic ahead of Shen on the line. 57.24, but that time means I think they'll both make it. Shen has broken her lifetime best by almost 2 seconds. It's Kulinic through, and absolutely Shen is going to make it. Kulinic is still in it, not disqualified yet, but she's out because Shen takes her place in the hot seat, and it's a hot seat through to the final. The top 2, they'll meet again.
That was 2 very different ways to run a 400 meter on display. Now Shen and her guy, they went for it. They absolutely blasted out, making their intent known from the start. And my goodness, for Kulinic to just keep her cool, not get sucked into someone else's race plan, and to have the confidence that you are going to reel her in down the home stretch. Now, I'm not saying that there's any right or wrong way to run a 400 meters, but you can just see the way it can all change in that final 20 meters.
That was a brilliant victory. I really got to say, Shen Yakin, well, she was in there for a bit, but Kulinic Sorokin, who's been, well, she's been a past master at this. She's got 16 major championship medals. She's had a very long career. It's the last 2 Paralympic Games where she's won her first Paralympic Games medals. She's been winning top prizes since 2012. Kulinic through, Shen Yakin through, and Cretu gets a season's best. So, in a certain kind of way, everyone's a winner. No doubt about it. So Kulinic is the fastest. Shen, how about that? Lifetime best, second fastest, and actually quicker than the 2 winners of the other heats, Chavarrizeta and Alejandra Perez.
Oh, what great news that we are just catching the 3rd round attempt for Vanessa Lowe. Not great news for her, that one's going to be a foul, but it means that I can update you. She has set a championship record on her 2nd attempt. I told you that first attempt, 4 meters 98. She was so far behind the board. There is absolutely no doubt she was going to add to it. She's come back in the 2nd round, jumped 5 meters 49. Now that attempt was a foul, but we know Vanessa Lowe is in the groove and she is ready to fly. She's found her runway. She is going to push the borders of that takeoff, maybe a little bit of an adjustment for her before she comes back for that next jump. And finishing off this round is Alina Kratter of Switzerland. Unfortunately, another foul. Kratter currently sitting at 5 meters 16, also a championship record for the T63 category, whereas Lowe is a T61. A lot of the athletes choosing to take off their blades, and it can make it a little bit more difficult when it comes to being precise with that foot placement on the board. So just confirm there, a foul for Kratter. She will remain in 2nd position.
Just a quick point, there's a bit of a moat actually where the athletes are coming up to chat to their coaches, so that's a slight problem. Got to have a good voice.
Or some excellent hand signals. Personally, I always like charades. It was never a problem.
Lifetime best of 45.17 from India. Please welcome Paddy Kumar.
Paralympic Games last year.
With a lifetime best of 46.74 from Kazakhstan, Rufat Kapigulin. 8th in the world in 2024 for the United States of America, Derek Loxton.
So he's picked up the bronze medal as he did both 2023.
With a lifetime best of 44.42 from Colombia, Thomas Felipe Soto Mina.
Lifetime best though when he's through.
Next up from Greece, a lifetime best of 32.35, Torka Choraitis. And finally,
Yeah, the women's shot put final, Zhu Lijuan, we've seen her win a lot. She's leading 9.15 at the moment. Remember, in that all the throws come on one's coordination impairment. It is seated. And Lucina Kunova is second for Poland, currently 8.26. And Galina Lipadnikova third, neutral athlete 8.01.
So the first heat in the men's 400 metres T52. And we have 5 starters lining up for this one. Sato Tomoki, silver medalist at the Paralympic Games last year. He's the Paralympic champion from 2020. He's twice won world golds as well, Doha in 2015 and Dubai in 2019. 61 years of age. Salvador Hernandez, who was 7th in Paris last year, 18 global medals. He started at Sydney in the year 2000. This man started back in 2008. Uyembaru Hiragazu, bronze medalist in Tokyo 2020, silver back in Doha in 2015. Switzerland's Fabian Blum goes in lane 5. He finished 5th in the Paris Paralympics last year. And Jeong Dae of South Korea, who started competing on the international stage back in London 2017. First 3 go through automatically. Then across the 2 heats, it'll be the next 2 fastest advancing through to the final.
On your marks.
And you saw up close there, Sato Tomoki, a former Paralympic champion from 2020, took silver last year. And he gets out quick. Just 1 circuit of this very fast track here in New Delhi. And it is Sato Tomoki. Lifetime best of 53.62 set this year. That championship record, 54.19, held by Maxim Karaban, who's now been reclassified into the T53 category. So Sato Tomoki leads as we head around. Fabian Blum currently in 2nd place, the Swiss, and then there's great distance between the rest. So it's Sato who will be looking to pick up a 3rd World Championship gold if he can get victory this year in the final, and he'll go through and take the victory. 57.98 is the time. Uyembaru ends up taking 2nd position. So a Japanese 1-2. 45. So 57.98 the qualification. Uyembaru in just over 1 minute. Season best for Hernandez in 3rd position. So he, at this stage, will be hoping to get through the top 3 going through. Blum and Jeong, 103.68 and 16.53. So those 3 qualify. Sato did it easy then, didn't he? He was absolutely just cruising through. The top 3 go through anyway, so it was very simple.
Yeah, that was probably a qualification that didn't trouble him too much, but I do think you made a really important point about Maxim Karaban and the fact that the landscape has totally changed now for this men's T52 class. And Maxim Karaban was so far ahead that it really was never a question that he was going to win gold. And if you're new to parasport and you're wondering, well, how come people keep getting classified and why does it change? It's just an important thing to remember that classification is really complicated and they're constantly watched and monitored.
So 57.98, Sato goes through. Uyembaru as well, and Salvador Hernandez with the season best for him. Blum and Jeong Dae will have to wait to see if they can go through. Interesting on that too, Sato Tomoki's lifetime best this year, 53.62. That would have been inside the championship record of Maxim Karaban. So it's not impossible for someone to come along and break that time that Karaban set.
Well, maybe Sato is a great candidate. You can see there Sato powering away, and just a reminder about the category T52. So there are 3 different categories for the 50s. A T54 has full use of their trunk and their arms. A T53 has full use of their arms, and a T52, this category, their arms and their grip is affected. And so what you'll notice is they just have different arrangements in terms of how they punch their wheels, the types of gloves that they use, and again, the game is just maximize whatever you can use.
So 4th and 5th there will sit and wait now to see if the 2nd heat is any quicker and whether they can qualify through to the final with those first 3 going through automatically. But I tell you, when you look at that track now compared to what it was like earlier, it looks absolutely splendid. It was underwater a few hours ago.
It is amazing how they've transformed it. And we're going to bounce straight back to the long jump. Noelle Lambert-Behrens getting going with a bit of a sidestep there. Now, she started off with a championship record. That was then claimed by Alina Kratter. In the third round, she jumped 4 meters 84. Now, fortunately, that one was a foul. It's not going to improve her position. And just to get your bearings back in this competition, we are in the fourth round. We have lost one athlete, Ambra Sabatini of Italy, who I was so excited to watch make her long jump debut. We know how fast she is. We know how important speed is on the runway. And unfortunately, she had the horrible experience of 3 fouls. If you're watching, Ambra, please don't let this cloud your enjoyment of the sport. It happens to everyone. Now, Kratter has already set a championship record in the second round. She came in as one of the favorites for a medal. Now, she started off in para-alpine skiing, but we're very, very glad we've stolen her across to athletics. She's already claimed 2 Paralympic bronze medalists, silver medalist in Paris 2023. And she's done it again. Another championship record, 5 meters 23. Now, she has come in with a season's best and lifetime best at 5 meters 27. This competition is going very, very well for Kratter. And when you're in that kind of groove as an athlete, you just can't wait to take your next jump.
It's the second semi-final of the men's 400 meters T52. It's the second most restricted of the wheelchair racing categories. And in this, one of the great champions going back to as far back as 2002, Thomas Geierspichler of Austria. Also 4-time global champion Tomoya Ito. And this man here, Leonardo Perez, former Pan Am champion. He took the gold in the 4 in 2023, bronze in the 1 and the 8 in the 2020 Paralympic Games, a silver and 3 bronzes in his time at Worlds. In 8 for Japan, the twice Paralympic champion, twice world champion Tomoya Ito, and in his time he's won 23 global medals. He goes in 8. In lane 7 for Austria, the reigning European champion, 16-time major champion, twice Paralympics gold. Geierspichler goes in lane 7. In lane 6 for Philippines, the reigning Asian Games champion over 400, Gerald Pete Mangliwan. In lane 5 for Lithuania, he's already finished 5th in the discus series, 58. The former European 400 meters champion, Kęstutis Škukis. And a championship debut in lane 4 for Sweden. Swedish champion, he's from Enköping, northwest of Stockholm, Jonathan Torssell. And just like Zoltan Bessenay yesterday in the discus in this F52, Bessenay was the 3-time European rally champion. Torssell was a competitive cross-country motorbiker in the Enduro, had an accident. He's in this now, looking to go far. And it's the top 3 who'll make the final, plus the next 2. At T52.
On your marks.
Being held a long time.
Set.
Well, they're away now. It's Torssell in 4, Škukas in 5, Mangliwan in 6, Geierspichler in 7, Ito in 8, and Perez in 9 in the now seemingly traditional Mexican pink. And he's going one-handed with his right hand on that outside lane. He's been overtaken by Tomoya Ito here, who won bronze in the 4 in last year's Paralympic Games, and that was his first Paralympic medal since a clean sweep of silvers at London 2012. And he's going well, he's going very well, and Perez not using his left hand at all, just a little bit of steering, but he's going brilliantly on the outside. It's Ito and Perez who are well clear, and it's Manglawan who's in third spot. Geraint Spechler in fourth, trying to move up the Austrian, but Ito is well clear and looking good. He's going to get the victory. Well, he's going to join his compatriot Sato and Aya Nabarro in the final, no doubt about that. There could be a Japanese clean sweep. It's going to be a good time as well. 58.33. Ito takes it. Perez is in second spot. Manglawan is third, and Geraint Spechler is in fourth place. 58.33 the winning time. Ito looked very good, very comfortable. What a style from Leonardo Perez there. He too has been around a long time, by the way. He's been winning major championship medals since the 2013 Worlds in Lyon. Ito, Perez and Manglawan are into the final.
Now we just got a shot there of Geraint Spechler in the background, and you'll know who I'm talking about when I mention his beard. Now the only reason why I bring it up, he's going to be waiting to see if he's automatically qualified, and he has. If you have the same type of brain that I do, my first thought is that beard going to be aerodynamic? And the answer is, it's actually fine because your head is tucked in as you go. But one of the things that you pointed out, Will, that I think is important to go back to was Perez, the Mexican, who was pushing with one hand. And just to have, you see him right now on the outside lane in the pink. And he has a glove on one of his hands, and there you go, you get a shot just there. And I look at that and honestly my abdominals hurt, because you just think about the amount of strength he has to have in his core to keep that chair centered. Look at how wide that chair is. Think about how hard it is to get those chairs around the corner and stay in your lane. That is absolutely stunning.
So Tomoya Ito gets the win. He was last world champion in 2011. He won the 4 and the 8. That was in Christchurch. Ito is into the final. Perez 2. And Gerald Manglawan. Thomas Geraint Spechler makes it 2. Qualifies 105.33. A small queue, but they all count. Good performance by Geraint Spechler. He's among the 8 in the final. The 3 fastest are all Japanese: Sato, Ito and Aya Nabarro. Perez, Manglawan, Hernandez, Bloom and Geraint Spechler all making it. Always watch out for Geraint Spechler's result. We were born the same day.
We're in the closing stages of this women's T63 long jump. On has already set a new lifetime best, 4 meters 77. And look at that, 4 meters 72, 4 meters 77. She's got the white flag there. She is clearly feeling this competition. And sometimes when you are in the groove as an athlete, it just flows. And you walk away and you think, oh, but that just felt so easy. Why was it so hard for so long? And it's like that in a lot of things. It feels so hard, it feels impossible, until you do it. Again, unbelievably consistent. That mark came up at 4 meters 75. And you'll just see there that she actually has the same distance as Tozawa, but she is in 4th place because of her backup jump. Every time I watch the athletes take off like that, I can't help but have my attention drawn to their knees. You can just see so much is being required of these prosthetic legs at the moment. You need a knee that's going to flick back as you run, but when these athletes take off, that vertical impulse they put into the ground, they are putting huge forces through that knee. 4 meters 84 is still her best result back from attempt number 3. She will not move up. So many forces going through these knees. They really are an engineering marvel. Alina Kratter, championship record in round 4. What has she got for us in round 5? Now, several of the athletes in this category choosing to use just the simple sail technique, and you don't have to do anything fancy in the air. Once you've taken off, there's very little that you can do to add to the jump. Everything has already been decided by the speed and by the amount of force you were able to generate at takeoff. All that matters once you're in the air is that you control those forces. As soon as you take off, you have these forward rotational forces that are trying to send you forward, and you can just see what a great job she does there controlling that. Vanessa Lowe already set a championship record with her second attempt. Now, she's followed that up with 2 fouls. I can tell you both of those jumps were excellent, but it's so difficult as a double-bladed athlete to nail your accuracy on the runway. It's one of the hardest things to do as a long jumper, but my goodness, when she gets it right, she absolutely flies. Oh, and another foul, and you could just get a sense there when she built up all this speed, and then just as she was coming in, that stride just started lengthening a little bit. Now, of course, the running mechanics could be a little bit different for a double-bladed athlete, and this is something that she will have practiced time and again with husband Scott Reardon. But 3 fouls now in a row. She'll have 1 more jump left. Oh, and you can just see that margin is so fine. I mean, that could not have been more than 3 centimeters there. She has this really unique technique as well. You can just see the way that she falls to the side. That's a technique that she has developed to make sure that ideally you want your center of mass to be the first thing that touched down. And your center of mass, well, the most polite way to say it is in your butt, and you want that to land first, and that's why she falls to the side like that.
Time now for the women's 100 meters T36 final. 8 set to start in this one. The World and Paralympic champion Shi Yiting not at these games though. Yam Kwok Fan, debut at 2015 in Doha, the season best in a heat. She made it through as a qualifier, finishing outside the top 3. Kira Wright, lifetime best in her heat, major championship debut. She's already won silver here in the shot put at these games. Goes in lane 3. Veronica Hippolito, bronze medalist last year in Paris. She won bronze back in 2013 in Lyon and also last year in Kobe. Marley Lovell, she was 4th at the Paralympic Games. Bronze medalist last year in the 200 metres as well. John Min-jae, 3 Paralympic Game medals, 2 World Championship medals, go all the way back to London 2012, where she picked up silver, and in Lyon in 2013. Danielle Aitchison, who was silver behind Shi Yiting last year in Paris, will go as the favourite here. Cheyenne Boothorn, who was the gold medalist here at these games in the shot put. She's also the reigning European champion in this event. She's in lane 8. And the third of the Australians going in this, 21 years of age. She competed at Paris 24 in her first major championship, Abby Craswell, in lane 9. Aitchison, who finished with a silver medal last year in Paris. Gold medalist in the 200 for the past 2 World Para-Athletics Championships. Season best in her heat for the New Zealander. They're away in the women's 100 metres T36 final. It is Danielle Aitchison, the favourite, who gets out fast. At the beginning on the far side, Kira Wright was looking good, but she's fallen back somewhat. Marley Lovell's up there in second place, but it's going to be Danielle Aitchison. 13.42 seconds is the win. And Marley Lovell from Australia comes across and takes the silver medal. We'll find out that bronze medalist in a moment or two's time. Season best for Aitchison, 13.43 seconds. Lovell in 14.56 takes the silver medal. And it's Hippolyto of Brazil in 14.77 who's held on to take the bronze, just ahead of Cheyenne Boothorn, who misses out on the medals despite getting a gold in the shot put. Aitchison wins it, season best time of 13.43, ahead of Australia's Marley Lovell and Hippolyto of Brazil. She again takes home a bronze medal, as she did last year in Paris and way back in 2013, as well as Kobe last year.
Now, if you have eagle eyes, you might have noticed there that there was a circular light in front of Aitchison, and that's just because she finds it difficult to hear the gun, so she has that light instead. But she had a fantastic start, and it just got better from there, shrieking away. Again, it's not usual. We see winning margins by this amount, and it just goes to show the talent that she has. But the thing I couldn't help but notice at the start is she was literally struggling to contain her smile. I mean, she is having the time of her life out there, and there's a cliche that says a happy athlete is a fast athlete, and maybe it is a cliche, but it could not be more true in this instance.
Well, she was smiling well before she went across the line as well. So Danielle Aitchison picks up the World Championship gold medal in the 100. She's done it in the 200 before, a couple of times. Marley Lovell, 21 years of age. She just missed out on a medal last year in Paris, finishing 4th. She took bronze in the 200 metres, but she has a silver medal at the World Championships now in the 100. Hippolyto has been there before in the bronze medal position. She collects another. And Brazil at the top of their game when it comes to the medal count with China. As we head back to the long jump.
Well, the women's T63 long jump is coming to a close, and we already know who our medalists are. Crater just being asked to step away from the runway. Now, she's there knowing she is already in silver medal position, thanks to a championship record on her 5th attempt, 5 meters 33. However, just ahead of her, Vanessa Lowe, sitting at 5 meters 49. Now, Crater has already set a personal best, and you can tell she is not done yet, not quite satisfied with silver. Can she improve on her silver medal? Well, the jump was good. Well, I'm jumping the gun. We'll wait for the official. The jump was good, but by eye, that looked a decent attempt. But I say decent, I mean, we're talking championship record territory. She's looking with interest. As an athlete, you always have a little bit of a sense of where that jump was, how it feels. You see the way she just flies through the air, perfectly loading that blade. It's come up, it's 5 meters 45. Another championship record. She is having the competition of her life, Crater. As she was a silver medalist in Paris 2023, it's going to be silver again. But what a way to do it, with 2 personal bests in the 5th round, in the 6th round. There were a few fouls in the early rounds, but she sorted things out, and now Vanessa Lowe, she already knows that she has a gold medal, but she is there and she's looking very serious. I've sensed a little bit of frustration from her throughout this competition. She already knows she's a gold medalist, but she set a world record of 5 meters 71, and you can tell she wants more. That was a good jump. She was having a few foul issues. The 3 fouls in a row from attempt 3, 4, and 5. Now she has gotten the white flag on that one. It doesn't matter. She is the world champion. I'm sure we're going to get a big smile from her soon. But she's still looking around with interest every single time she comes out. She wants to do her absolute best. Again, just using that unique technique to maximize as much distance as possible. 5 meters 47. Now we have the smile. Vanessa Lowe appreciating just what an incredible feat it is to win another world championship, even if it wasn't with the world record perhaps she was going for. But my goodness, what a story. She retired after London 2012. So disappointed with herself in that competition, wanted to just leave Parasport, and she came back winning 2016, 2020, and 2024.
Another big final coming up, another great champion to be crowned. It's the men's 100 meters T64, and maybe an old clubmate of hers might be able to barge through. Some great champions in this, some great names in this. It's the Blade Runners, it is the single below knee category. Big championship debut for Dan Gladman, and he's in the final from Warrington, trained by his former athlete brother James. He goes in lane 2. In lane 3 for Italy, the 3-time world champion, twice in the 2, once in the 1 in Paris 2 years ago, silver in the 1 in the Paris, Maxel Manu. In lane 4 for Germany, the 400 meters Paralympic champion in Tokyo, the 8 times world champion Johannes Flores. In lane 5 for Brazil, Alan Oliveira, big star of London 2012 when he beat Oscar Pistorius to win the 100. Oliveira for Brazil in 5. In lane 6, the man they have to beat though, the reigning Pan Am World and Paralympic champion in this, Sherman Keating. In lane 7 for Germany, the former 100 meters Paralympic champion, Felix Streng. In lane 8 for the Netherlands, the reigning European champion. And in the last 3 World Championships, he's been on the podium, a silver and 2 bronzes for Oliver Hendricks. And in lane 9 for the United States, the former world 400 and 200 meters champion, twice Pan Am 100 meters champ, it's Jared Wallace for the USA. The former world record holder. Well, what a field this is. Johannes Flores with the T62 world record of 10:54. No Hunter Woodall in this, withdrawing a couple of days ago. And we remember Johnny Peacock's great successes as well, London 2012. Always coming back for more to get more medals. Representing Britain in this is Dan Gladman in 2, Manu in 3, Flores 4, Oliveira 5, Geety 6, Streng 7, Hendricks 8, Wallace in lane 9. Streng, the 5 times European champion. Medalled in each of the last 3 Paralympic Games. It's a brilliant field for the men's 100 meters T64. Oh, they were unsettled, and Manu went, and then he put his arm up. They were being held a long time, I thought. They were looking a bit jittery. We'll see. I would imagine a green flag, but
I think there's still a bit of noise down that far end as well.
The thing to bear in mind as well, the start position is difficult to hold with all of your limbs. It's very uncomfortable. Now, when you're missing one of them, it makes it harder. He was not happy about being held that long.
well, now there's a card coming. It's a red card from Manu, and the 3 times world champion has been disqualified. Well, it's astonishing. but they felt they were close enough to the gun, and he went, and he has been red carded. And that's a candidate gone.
I mean, he was a huge gold medal threat, and the thing with this starting decision is that it is decided by the officials. Some of the athletes choose to use starting blocks, some don't, and so obviously they don't have the pressure plates on. So it is a call by the officials.
Went too early. He was very keen, Manu, but I'm afraid he has been dispatched, and the colour of the card was red. If he'd put his hand up before going, then he'd have been okay.
Well, he tried to do it after the fact.
Yeah.
So I think he tried
Bad
to
luck.
kid them after the fact, but anyway.
Well, Manu has gone. Maxell will not excel in this final. Instead, he has exited. So Gladman in 2, Flores in 4, Oliveira 5, Geety 6, Streng 7, Hendricks 8, Wallace 9. Geety excellent over 1 and 2. The final of the men's 100 metres T64. And they're away this time, and Geety's away well. Streng even better. Geety catching up with him. Streng firing on all cylinders. Flores coming up too. Flores is coming up. It's going to be Streng and Flores on the line. A photo finish. I think Streng slightly, but Geety was overtaken by the two jammers on either side. And it's between Streng and Flores. From this side, I thought it was Streng. 10.73 the winning time, and Streng takes it by 200ths. Streng the gold for Germany, Flores the silver, and Sherman Geety, who led for so long, ends up with a bronze in 10.93. They took him from either side. Felix Streng takes his first individual world title. Took relay gold in 2015. The 100 meters champion in Tokyo and the Paralympic Games 4 years ago. Felix Streng just edged out Flores. He overtook Geety, and I don't know if from the corner of his eye he saw his teammate moving up, but Flores definitely did floor it, seeking a 9th world gold. It's Germany 1-2, and Geety, the Paralympic champion, the outgoing world champion, is dethroned into bronze.
I have to say, coming in, I had my sights set on Geety. I really thought he was going to take that one, but Streng just got out so fast. And sometimes when an athlete gets out so quickly, it kind of shakes the rest of the field and makes them wonder, okay, they're not supposed to be there. Am I going too slow? Am I going to try a little bit harder? But Streng did so well just to hold his nerve, especially after that false start, and especially knowing that Flores was going to be motoring behind him. And just look at Streng there. He launched himself out. Geety is still there with him, but the thing is, Streng just kept on accelerating, and normally we see Geety moving through the field at this point, but his face, it looks strained, and again, for Streng to hear Flores coming beside him, it really then just became a battle to see who has the biggest chest, who has the biggest torso, who is going to get across that line first. This is always such an exciting race, and just there, a high five with Gladman. It has to be said, he did exceptionally well to get into that final on his debut, coming in at 32.
I thought Sherman Geety just lost his rhythm there. Streng couldn't have known on the line. He glanced across and suddenly saw it was Flores who was up with him. And Johannes Flores, who was quite a bit back at halfway, saw his chance coming, and he took it. It was almost a gold for him. Streng the champion, 10.73. Johannes Flores the silver, 10.75. Sherman Geety gets the bronze to Costa Rica, 10.93. And Alan Oliveira, champion in London 13 years ago, 4th, just out of it. Euro champ Hendricks, 5th for the Netherlands. High quality final that, great field. Now men's javelin F64 is underway. They used to be in with the 44s. This is the same category. It is the single below knee classification. Here's a man we see a lot of, Derek Loxenden, and he's versatile to say the least. The man from Oklahoma City, former college footballer and a decent one, headhunted by the aforementioned legendary Joachim Cruz. Loxenden, silver in the high jump and the long jump in Paris, 10th in the javelin, and in the Worlds last year in Kobe, silver in those two jumps and bronze in the one. Some going. Thomas Soto of Colombia, 44-48, currently in the bronze medal position, so there are 7 in this. That's heading out beyond 45. Well, that's an improvement. So currently in silver, 46.62 is Rufat Khabibulin of Kazakhstan, and Soto might have just overtaken him. That is a tremendous throw. It's certainly well beyond 45. Has he made it up into the silver medal position? It would give him a lot to celebrate. He's done it. 46.95, a lifetime best, and Soto goes into silver. But there is one man who is head and shoulders ahead of the rest, and that is Sumit. He leads 65.59. And he's thrown another one beyond 65 meters just now. It's a belter. It's 68.40 by Sumit. He extends his lead to 22 meters. A tremendous throw by Sumit. Indian TV have just described everybody in that picture. But we know Sumit, and we know him well. The 2 in a row Paralympic champion, 2 in a row world champion, and he's on his way to 3 without any doubt at all. Well, they're all enjoying it in the director's box, no doubt about it.
You could just see Sumit there after that throw. He was kind of wiggling around in his shoulder, relaxing some of the tendons, some of the muscles. A little bit of spray there. It could be hot spray, could be cold spray, but you can see he's just in a little bit discomfort, and that's because it takes a huge amount of flexibility, a huge toll on that shoulder. This is an event where biceps aren't going to help you. It really is about how you use the whole of your body, how you use your run-up, how you then use that whip-like slingshot action to get that javelin out.
Well, now Konstantinos Turkoturaitis currently lying in 7th spot. He will get all of his throws in. 28.76 is best so far. His lifetime best is 32.35.
I wonder what would have happened if Turkoturaitis had made the 100-meter final. He would have had a big decision to make, whether I'm going to do the javelin or whether I'm going to finish that final, or maybe just miss a few throws in between.
So now the man who was 5th placer in the Asian Games, most recently, Rufat Khabibulin. So the door is open not just for a whole lot of new F44s to come in, but 64s as well, and that's over 45. 46.62 is best, so he has been knocked out of 2nd spot by Soto. So this is 4th attempt, and he's got that a good distance out. 47 meters 14 is his lifetime best, and he goes back into the silver medal position above Thomas Soto of Colombia.
It's interesting to watch these athletes as they throw. All of the athletes, F64s, throwing with blades, and it's a big decision to choose which leg you're going to use to block. Are you going to use your artificial leg, or are you going to use your real leg?
Yimbang Tan of Thailand. So 42.48 is best. I ought to tell you as well, Thomas Soto, he's 18 years old. It is his championship debut, and he is absolutely storming. Just in the middles by 3 metres from Locks it enters. Yimban Chang has his go. It's 40.39.
So what I mean by when you block your leg, you build up all this speed, and in order to transfer that to the javelin, one of your legs has to act like a stop, like a block. It takes all of that force and transmits it. And do you use a blade? Do you use your biological leg?
Well, the penultimate track event of the evening, men's 400 metres, T11 final, complete visual impairment. There are 4 to go in this one, including the Paralympic champion, Anderson Santos. Mohamed Aid, who was 4th in the Paralympics last year, from Iraq. Continental record in the final for him in Paris. Atangana, who was bronze in Paris last year, the refugee Paralympic team, he'll go in lane 5. Gautier Makunda, bronze medalist back in London 2012 and also Tokyo 2020. He's been competing since Athens in 2004. He won his heat leading up to this final. He'll go in lane 3. The Paralympic champion bidding to become the world champion. It is Anderson Santos of Venezuela. 38 years of age. So lanes 1, 3, 5 and 7 in use. Maximum of 4 in a T11 event because the guide is compulsory. They'll be set into the blocks. The tether, which is 50 centimetres across, we set up between the guide and the athlete. Has to maintain the tether the whole way through. You cannot pull the athlete, you cannot push the athlete, and the athlete must cross the line before the guide at the end for it to be legal. World record and championship record held by Daniel Mendes da Silva. The world record has stood since 2011, the championship record since 2013. There's a great shot of that tether. So they're away in the men's 400 metres T11, complete visual impairment. Aid in 7 and Atangana in 5, Makunda in 3 and Santos, the reigning Paralympic champion, in lane number 1. And already moving up fast is Atangana inside Mohamed Aid of Iraq, and Atangana looking strong as they get through the first 200 metres. The man who's racing for the refugee Paralympic team and maybe struggling somewhat on the inside is Santos of Brazil, but he may come into his own as they straighten up. Atangana though looks really good coming around that bend, and he leads, and Santos is in trouble, but it looks like Makunda is going to have a chance of catching up with Atangana, but he now starts to falter. His guide's actually starting to falter more than Makunda. He's having to pull his guide, but it's Atangana who takes the win, 51.92 seconds. So it's outside the championship record, but it was fast for Guilherme Atangana. Season best time for him of 51.95. Santos, the Paralympic champion, he fell away in the last 100 metres. And poor old Gautier Makunda was having to pull his own guide along. Joachim Berlin, he was really struggling. Makunda though takes silver, 80 with the bronze medal, and the Paralympic champion picks up nothing at all. Santos of Venezuela, the 38-year-old, struggled down that last 100 metres. That man there though didn't. Atangana takes the victory. After getting bronze in Paris, he looked really good down the back straight. He held his form coming around the last 100. And just watch Makunda in the background with his guide really sucking in the air. And at this point here, he's almost dragging him along.
You're right. Ideally, you want to be perfectly in sync with your guide. Fortunately, Gauthier had the presence of mind to keep going, and I think he just was able to get ahead of the other athlete, because again, it doesn't matter when the guide crosses, it matters when the athlete crosses. However, they do have to stay attached. So it's a messy way to win a silver, but who cares? But well done to Gauthier for hanging on to that one.
Well, he'd be thankful, Mukunda, that he still picked up that silver medal, because he almost got caught on the line as they went across. There was no doubt whatsoever about the gold medal. Atangana with a season best. Mukunda takes the silver medal, and Mohamed Aid with a bronze medal. The Paralympic champion run out of it in 4th place in the men's 400 metres T11 final.
One more track final to come, men's 1500 metres T11, which will be on the way shortly. But the men's javelin F64 continues, and this young lad has produced another lifetime best, and he's gone back up to second. 48.38 for Thomas Soto. A magnificent throw by this 18-year-old. The big battle is for the silver, because Summit is well on his way to gold. Reigning Asian Games, World and Paralympic champion. He's already received the biggest award that he can from the government, the Kel Ratner Award. He's from Haryana. Probably a good few here. So Sumit is on the way. Going big time, a belting throw. Oh, look at that! Is that the biggest of the lot? It must be. 68.40 in the previous round, and that was an awesome throw. Nitesh Chopra, I think, among the crowd here, the World Athletic Champion from 2003. He's loving it. He's a big, strong man. And Sumit is on his way to glory. It's a new championship record. 71.37. It's 1.5 meters outside his world record. It is a magnificent throw by Sumit. He's got one to go. He's going to get the gold for India.
That was an incredible throw. Sumit is still holding his shoulder there. He is in pain, and the fact that he was still able to come out, he wants so badly to perform for this crowd and lay down that 71.37 while he's still uncomfortable. He's picking up the ice there. That is how much this means to him.
So now the final of the men's 1500 meters T11, and we've got 6 going for this complete visual impairment. So everybody needs a guide. Everybody in this was in the 5,000 meters final on Saturday, where it was only the 3 medalists in the end who had a finish. DNFs, lots of disqualifications in it. That happens in this, even in the 1500. So on the outside to your left, neutral athlete Fedor Rudakov, originally bronze in that 5,000 final, but disqualified. He's the reigning European champion in this, World and Paralympic bronze in his time as well. Inside him, the new 5,000 meters world champion, Paralympic silver for Kenya Karasawa. His guide is Takuma Shimizu. Silver in the 5 in the Paralympics last year. A DNF in the 5,000 final for the reigning Pan Am and World 1500 meters champion, Julio Agrippino, and his guide Mikael Batista dos Santos, and he's the Paralympic 5,000 champ. Next for Japan, Asian Games, World and Paralympic silver for Shinya Wada. His guide is Takumi Hasabe. Inside him, disqualified, almost had a medal as well, former World and Paralympic champion Samuel Kamane, and his guide John Kipchumba. And on the inside, silver in the 5,000 this week. Last year's 5,000 meters world champion. He's the Pan Am 5,000 champion, the reigning 5,000 world champion coming into this. Yeltsin Jack and his guide Marinaldo dos Santos. Yeltsin Jack is the reigning Paralympic champion. So they're all here, all of the European, World and Paralympic 1,500 and 5,000 champions. 12 bodies across the track. It's going to get very congested over this 1,500 meters, and it's Agrippino out in front for Brazil. He's left a little bit of a gap there. Now, normally if it was a space for one man, they would make it, but two is a bit much. And just behind him is Rudakov in second place. A little bit of a gap going back then. Yeltsin Jack in third place. And behind him it is Karasawa of Japan, but it's going to be interesting to see how they pace this. A little bit ragged at the moment, and Kamani's making a big move on the outside in lanes 3 and 4, but it's Agrippino who's holding his own right now, the Pan Am World 1,500 meters champion. He's in front with 3 laps to go.
Agrippino has done so well to go to the front. With that drone shot, you just get a glimpse right now of how wide Kamani of Kenya is having to run, and it's a big deal. If you spend even 1 lap out in lane 2, you are running an extra 7 meters. Now times that by 3, and that's a huge amount of distance to overcome. And the benefit for Agrippino by going to the front with his guide, they don't have to worry about all that traffic in the background. It's very, very difficult to pass when you have 2 bodies around you.
Little bit of a gap opening up at the front as well, and he's happy to allow that situation to emerge. Agrippino, and likewise Rudakov just behind him, and moving up into third. Karasawa. Kamani fourth. Now the other Brazilian, Yeltsin Jack, silver in the 5,000. He's come way, way out. The lane 5 at the moment he is. You can see him and his guide, Marinaldo dos Santos, make the breakthrough. 2 laps to go. Well, it's going to be more than 1,500 meters for them. And now he's looking to hit the front. It's currently Brazil 1 and 2. It's Agrippino who's out in front. Yeltsin Jack in second spot and going further on the outside. Well, this is quite a wide maneuver. Rudakov dropped down into third. Agrippino still holding his own. Might not be aware that Jack is now coming up and trying to take the lead here, and he has.
Now Yeltsin Jack and his guide had the right idea by trying to attack on the home straight, but they got caught outside. They had to run that curve wide. They have gone the long way round, but they are setting themselves up to be in position for that final lap. This is getting very tactical now.
It's Yeltsin Jack who leads the way with 500 to go. Taking the lead ahead of Julio Cesar Agrippino. They have all done this before. Coming up towards the bell, it's Jack out in front, the Paralympic champion. Agrippino second, Brazil 1 and 2 at the moment. Rudakov is in third. There goes the bell. Karasawa is a bit back right now. Don't worry about that graphic saying Karasawa's third. He's not. It is clearly Rudakov who's there. And it's Yeltsin Jack trying to extend his lead right now alongside his guide Marinaldo dos Santos. Jack has had quite a career. That gold in the 1,500 of the Paralympic Games. The bronze in the 5. Culminating a marvellous, marvellous career, and there's more to come. He's still only 34. Turned that a couple of weeks ago when he was on the plane here. The final bend is on the way. Jacques leads, Agrippino in second place, and that margin is heading up to around 20 meters now. And it might be about to get even worse for Agrippino because Rudakov's about to overtake. Yeltsin Jack is on his way to victory, and a very good victory. Alongside Marinaldo dos Santos, Yeltsin Jack, the world champion. Agrippino will take the silver, and Brazil won 2, and Rudakov just couldn't quite take him ahead of the line. Kamani finishes 4th, and it's looking to be Karasawa in 5th place and Wada 6th. And the talented 2 Japanese will just run out of it in the end. It's a championship record for Yeltsin Jack, 4:02.02 to break the mark set 14 years ago in Christchurch by Adair Santos. And Yeltsin Jack paced that really well. They had to go the long way. Very much did it the hard way, you might say, too, but it's a good win.
I would call that win bold, brave, and committed by Jacques. It started out with Agrippino going to the front, but with still about half the race left to run, Jacques and his guy, they decided there's the move right there. They decided we don't want to stay here. They made their move on the home straight, exactly what you want to do. They committed, they got stuck on the outside, they still committed, they persevered. They were not going to leave this race to a sprint finish. So often you'll see the athletes gather, wait until the obvious spot to make their move, and instead Jacques surprised the entire field, and it wasn't even a contest in the end.
And Yeltsin Jack, who's won the 1500 meters of the last 2 Paralympic Games, did the 15 and the 5 double in Tokyo 4 years ago. This is his distance. He is now a 4-time world champion. Very impressive for Jack. And the fact that countries now have the option of wearing different colour singlets, just adds something extra to the mix. Slightly confusing. Only slightly. But the flag remains the same, and the taste of victory remains the same too. Yeltsin Jack first won gold in Lyon in the 800 meters in 2013, 1500 in Paris in 2023, Kobe last year in the 5, back to 15 now. A great win for Brazil. So Brazil, gold and silver. Yeltsin Jack and Julio Cesar Agrippino, the 1 and 2. And Fedor Rudakov, the neutral athlete. He picks up the bronze medal. Kimani in 4th spot. Kurosawa and Wada were way back, which I think was a bit of a surprise. So the men's javelin F64 continuing in the presence of the former Olympic and world champion Neeraj Chopra. He's claimed both those titles this decade. Derek Loxott needs something beyond 47.14 in order to get into the medals. Now that is close to lifetime best territory if he can do it. Trying to overhaul Rufat Khabibulin, but shy of 45, which means he's shy of 47, and it's 4th for Loxodent, who has never claimed a major javelin medal, but he has his talent. Neeraj Chopra watching on, and some other notable names as well in the crowd.
Devendra Jajaria is the president of the National Paralympic Committee of India.
Rufat Khabibulin then, what a day for him. He picks up a bronze medal at least, and it will be bronze. He had to go beyond the 45-meter line. Takes the red flag. Thomas Soto gets the silver then on his championship debut. Khabibulin, it's his global championship debut, and he is a bronze medalist for Kazakhstan. What a result. That is a brilliant night in his life, but what about if you're Thomas Soto, 18 years old, championship debut, never beaten so much as a Pan Am, 44.42 his lifetime best previously. He's added just about 4 meters onto it. He's got a world championship silver medal. The world is at his feet. That was his lap of honor throw. It's only the 3rd to go above 45 meters. That throw on its own would have put him on the podium. Magnificent. Thomas Soto has had the night of his life. And you see his right shoulder strapped up to his throwing arm. He's had a bit to worry about, but two first-time medalists congratulating each other, and they'll be sharing a photo with this man in a few minutes because Sumit has won it, a championship record, 71.31, and now he's looking for more. He's already smashed the championship record. He needs to go long. It's shy of 65. Sumit won't mind. It's his third world title. India have another gold. It's their fourth gold of these games. It's their ninth medal. And Sumit claims a fifth straight global gold. He's unbeatable right now. The Asian Games World and Paralympic champion. (71.37). And the fact is, he went into this far clear of the rest and opened the door for others to have a chance at a major championship medal. He's been well supported by the domestic Indian crowds here. And as you've been saying, because they've split up the 44s and the 64s, the door now opens up for new names, good talents, to become major championship medalists, to join him.
Well, the door does open up, but I feel like Sumit is going to be closing it for a long time to come. I mean, that was an absolutely dominant win, and what we've seen so far now, 2 nights running, India clearly dominant when it comes to the ambulance javelin throw. And just to think, to have someone like Chopra on watching, it just goes to show that this is the kind of thing that can happen when you bring parasport and give it the platform and the stage that it deserves. You cannot fall in love with a sport that you can't see, and clearly Indian para-athletes are absolutely taking the news, taking the audience, taking the country by storm.
They are one of the homes of the javelin right now, and they pick up another great javelin gold. Great success that was. Championship record to boot for Sumit, who is at the summit again. He's a past master at it, a new championship record. But Thomas Soto of Colombia with silver and Rufat Khabibulin of Kazakhstan with the bronze, their first ever major championship medals and lifetime best to go with it. F62 Konstantinos Turkocharitis of Greece gets the world record. He managed it second time around. He's not the only one. Derek looks at that in front.
Men's shot put F11. Championship record for Alipur Dabeed. The Paralympic and world champion retains the title. Madi Olad making it an Iranian 1-2 season best for him in 14.23. And in third place, a lifetime best for Alvaro Delamo Cano, bronze medalist in 2023. Bronze medalist last year, but he picked up another bronze on this occasion with a lifetime best.
Yep, Sumit wins it again, 71.37. And they may have split the categories, but he's still the champ. Xu Lijuan wins the women's shot put again, F34, seated coordination impairment. Yesenia Kornobis, the former champion, the European champion, gets the silver for Poland. Lifetime best for the neutral athlete, Lena Lipatnikova. She takes the bronze. Porsche, fourth for Germany. Zhao Kaiyun, fifth for China. Lifetime best as well. And Adil Al-Kwai for Saudi Arabia, likewise.
Women's club throw F32, Rosa Kokovska has taken a championship record. She has dethroned Maria Ebrahimi, who's a 3-time Paralympic champion and also the 4-time world champion. Kokovska, she won gold back in 2023 and 2020 at the Paralympic Games in 2020. Disqualified last year in Paris, but she takes it with a championship record here. Ebrahimi, and in third place it is Koskolo of Brazil.
And Brazil taking more medals tonight on the track. They're up to 27 now, 7 golds. India with Sumit right now, their 4th gold medal of these games. Switzerland up to 3, De Bruyne 2, Hug 1, Ireland up to 3. Paula Comerford with her 2nd alongside Greta Strain-Nikita. Germany, well, they had a night of it with Strang and Floors. Australia on gold medal form with Vanessa Lowe. Great Britain with their 2 golds through Hannah Cockcroft, and also Sabrina Fortune in the shot put. Uzbekistan were top of the placings table for a while. They've got their 6 medals. Belgium through Leah Bayakula in the T54 wheelchair racing. She has a gold for them there. They seem to be going through these very fast. Finland, they have the silver. Costa Rica, Croatia, Indonesia, Kazakhstan, Morocco, South Africa. Yeah, Kazakhstan just now in the javelin. That was absolutely fantastic. A first ever champion medal for Rufat Habibulin. I would imagine it's going to have a very, very good evening. So will we, so will you. From Will Downing, Tulson Tollett, and Steph Reed. A very good evening. Keep growing.